What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here, welcoming you to part 27 and the very last part of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Skarbrand the Exiled Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time in the finale part 1, we took down Castle Drakenhof and Kislev and I believe Sartosa as well, and overall some battles that I think are unlikely to be beat. So I was very tempted to just make the previous episode and the finale episode, but we've got a few more fights I think that we can fight for this one and send Skarby off and maybe get him a few nice fights as well, or at the very least one nice fight. If we can get it. Altdorf is maxed out, but the garrison itself isn't anything to write home about. Certainly it's weaker than the 2.5 stacks with Boris. I would like to meet Karl in the field, but I'm not so sure that he's alive or what he's doing. Maybe we'll send some blood hosts around just to scout out and maybe find him that way. But anyway, let's get started, shall we? The Gore Reavers, we're going to start with you. Going to send you to Zufbar real quick. Like so, we'll just auto-resolve, I don't really care, it's a blood host, and we will just occupy it straight up. Like so, I wanted the iron, and you can switch, and are you a green territory? You are a green territory, isn't that lovely? Alrighty, Skarby. I guess what we'll want you to do is to raise Castle Tempelhof, maybe even get another blood host out of it. You can reinforce, I guess. Wait, we should also reinforce with Tavi. This is still a close victory with medium casualties with everything that Skarby has. Now, this is the auto-resolve being an absolute nut job, right? Because no way. Yeah, I mean, Skarbrand here by himself against this garbage would not be a close victory. He's got full... Why is this a close victory? Is it the presence of this little blood host? Is that what's happening here? I'm genuinely curious what the heck is going on here. Wait, just move away for a second. I just want to see. No, still a close victory. How is it a close victory? Oh, auto-resolve, why are you like this? Okay, anyway, we'll just raise it, whatever, I don't care. Auto-resolve, apparently the auto-resolve does not like Skull Reapers? On what possible, by what how? There's Skull Reapers, okay, whatever, man, whatever. Go for blood with the blood gun. Color corn, and I guess no bloodthirster, no extra bloodthirsters for anybody. And Skarby, I assume you can go here and Waldenhof and Eschen. Now I assume you can't reach both, so let's just real quick see if we can't raise them with an auto-resolve. Hopefully the game will let us. It'll kill off one of the Skull Reapers. What if, though? What if? Give me a second here. What if we march stance you in? Maybe the additional troops will allow the Skull Reaper to survive, and then we can raise another blood host, have them take Eschen, and move Skarby away while he heals. Perfect. Auto-resolve, and raise. Another blood host. Like so, body counter. It's actually a good trait to pick up. Man, every single one has a bloodthirster now, and every single one has taken our capacity, so we're gonna have to delete them. Anyway, Skarby, ignore Eschen, I guess go this way, and then you two can sort of follow him. You're gonna be in the way, aren't you, Kagan, whatever. Like so, and like so. Skarby, you're just fine. I mean, I guess we could raid or whatever for the additional XP. Go for it. Alrighty, now. I would like the bloodthirsters to go away, unfortunately. And just because I would like the additional bloodthirster capacity, there's no guarantee that we'll use them. In fact, I would say it's not super likely that we will, because they'd have to be traveling super far to get to us, but I'll give it a shot, we'll see. Major Rager, your final fight will be at Quayshodal, and I do think that we should give you a final fight, so here's what we'll do. First, we'll take out this little rebellion. It will most likely, Razor Standard. Razor Standard on these guys because they need the weapon strength more than the Skull Reapers and such. We'll auto-resolve this for obvious reasons. And we'll be damaged enough that we'll have to wait the turn here. I think we'll grab Reap Captives. We will, what's the rebellion rate we're like? If we raid, yeah, we're okay. You sit here, you heal to full. Near to full, I guess. And then we'll go in and attack Quayshodal for the final fight for Major Rager. It's a tier 5 settlement, so there should be plenty of nice units for you to enjoy. Eddie, you're fine where you are. Bastion, kind of one of the new armies, but the likelihood of actually getting you a proper fight is, well, I guess we'll see. Try to go out here. If you can grab Steingart and Fildorf without anybody else interfering, you'll be fine. I'm willing to bet the auto-resolve will also not like this army very much, but that should hardly be of any surprise. Arbol. What do we have here? Pretty weak. I'd like to find you a proper final fight. Oh, I don't like how these guys are rebuilding their stuff. You know what? Let's have you raise a blood host at Zavastra, assuming that you can auto-resolve it. And then have that same blood host go take the other stuff. Like I said, while I have been avoiding the blood hosts by and large throughout the, well, maybe not throughout the entire campaign, but like not getting a lot of them, here at the end of all things, we will we'll grab a few extra just to speed matters along and not have to use our troops for every single thing. Delivery Evolved doesn't need to move. Carol, oh yeah, I forgot about you. There's a military presence in somewhere close to Needling. I'm gonna hope that you can go this way without dying. It would be unfortunate to have you deliver. You know what? We're just gonna give the Great Chaos Dragon to Skarby.
No, I think not, mortal.
That is true.
I still want to give the Chaos Knights of Khorne to well, you know what? All of you travel together for now. And okay, we have a few heroes, but I think okay, wait. You two, who are you again? Slaughterer and Dripping with Blood. I was gonna send you to somebody. Damn me if I remember who, so I'm just gonna send you out here. Some of the plans for some of the armies are obviously will have changed. We're gonna ignore you guys now because you can all just sit there as long as there's nobody who's critical. I think I wanted one cultist to go to Tavi. I would like Tavi to, you know, have at least end the campaign with his army being complete. Oh right, Tavi. You know what? Yeah, we'll give him to Tavi because he'll need cultists for the Skull Reapers to get their additional armor, and maybe for the auto-resolve not to hate them that much. Maybe. Skip. There was a commandment available, but I don't care, and I do believe we're good. Yes. Nobody has to move. Really, the guys that are trying to deliver stuff. Oh wait, actually, you have to move. How did I miss Kuchar? Wait. How did I miss you in here? Oh, because he had already slightly moved, and yeah, okay. That makes sense. Alright, Kuchar, will you be able to auto-resolve this? If he's not, I'm just going to, yeah, no. Oh, it's gonna draw out the garrison. Well, obviously we could win this, but it's not worth our time. We're just going to go here, we're gonna raid until we... Oh, wow, you barely heal. Oh, right, you don't have a cultist. I should not have auto-resolved with you, my bad, buddy. You know what? Lose some mana, gain the additional healing rate. And wait, will you heal more in enemy territory 3-3-3-3? No, exactly the same amount in our territory and their territory. Well, whatever. Alright, sit there for a moment. Now we'll end the turn real quick. See if anybody comes along. Faction encountered Cult of Sotek, eh? Now, that's actually an interesting question. How did we encounter Cult of Sotek here? Are they perhaps sailing an army over to us? I wouldn't be surprised. And what do we have here? Oh, right! Vashnar Slaughter Call, you were besieging... this is gonna be your final battle, and by the looks of it, nice little one. A sort of final battle and debut for Pike and Shot here, but I'm happy it'll be against a tough army. No Beligarch himself, but 3 out of 4 of his ghost pals are here to lead the charge. Though, oh! No magical damage on fire glaives. Huh, the ghost pals should actually be something of a problem. We're maybe gonna have to use the Slaughter Guard and Vashnar himself to get them. Gotta try to remember that. Go.
We are the despoilers, the slaughterers, the war chosen, and we fight for Khorne!
Alrighty, we not only fight for Khorne, we gun for Khorne. And since this is the final episode and we don't really care about casualties, or even winning really, what we can do is leave as much advantage as we possibly can to the enemy army. We are not going to harass them with our artillery, despite the fact that we could probably destroy the entire enemy army from a distance and just shoot and scoot them basically with the skull cannons. We deploy as close to them as possible and even move towards them. We ignore the enemy artillery, and we're going to just let the armies fight it out in you know, sort of good old-fashioned Khornate manner. Looks like the enemy Trollhammer Torps will hit our Chaos Warriors Khorne with halberds, doing a decent little bit of damage, but obviously the Trollhammers aren't meant for that sort of thing, and they have a lot of damage that is wasted by virtue of only being able to hit one model. Our skull cannons attempt to fire upon the troll hammers, but apparently this hill that they were firing over blocks them well enough for the skull cannons to not be able to, so they're just going to back off. Otherwise, skull cannon and fire glaives alike are firing at the enemy. Our glaives are taking troll hammer damage, are taking grudge thrower damage. And our halberdiers will take gouts of flame to the face as they charge in, losing about 50% of their HP before closing with the enemy longbeards. I love this sort of fighting style that this army has. So I'm glad that we got to see it at least a couple of times here, and a very nice fight here at the very end. I guess Belagar's last stand wasn't quite Angren's last stand, and I'm quite happy for it. And the fight as yet continues, though we have been starting to take a fair bit of damage from all of those iron drakes, and again we are letting the enemy fire on us a fair bit more than we otherwise might, but it's keeping it fun. Even if perhaps the amount of range units is not as corny as we'd like, but hey, somebody needs to bind and upkeep those demon engines, and who else but the fire glaives. Or the chaos dwarfs in general, I suppose. These guys appear to no longer be either in range, or they were... yeah, these guys are in range, or are still not able to fire, or perhaps they were just reloading. And enemies firing back with those troll hammers. I did try to tell these guys to fire at the gyrocopters flying overhead, but unfortunately we were unable to. Now, since those iron drakes have so much resistance, or fire resistance, we can't really do enough damage to them with fire glaives or with skull cannons in range. So it's time for the skull cannons to start putting in the work and take out both the troll hammer and flamethrower variants by going into melee. Our fight against the dwarfen mainliners as yet continues, and our fire glaives I do expect will win the range shootout with quarrelers and thunderers. And it's just that we need help against the iron drakes because they're basically resistant to the type of damage that we deal. Not much to say, just enjoying the glorious action. I'm so thankful this isn't a dark map either, because everything is nice and visible. Enemy is certainly failing and breaking through our lines of halberdiers, and our gunners keep on gunning. Our skull cannons are spinning to win, and recovering their skull ammo as they do. Alright, but the balance power has shifted to about 70% in our favor. The enemy lord, I believe, has been defeated by Vashnar and is attempting to escape, and though we can't really do anything about those gyrocopters, though we did try, well, he can do something about nearly everything else. And this is our first cultist and only cultist, I think, that is on a Chaos Steed rather than on a Chaos War Shrine, and nice to see him fighting back-to-back with the Exalted Hero. The cultists do have pretty solid fighting stats as well, so it'll certainly work. And there we go, it looks like the enemy Iron Drakes have been pretty much destroyed, dwarfs being sent flying every which way by the spinning motorcycles. And by the looks of it, the battle is very nearly ours, and we might even be able to turn to doing some damage to those gyrocopters. And there we go, with that, the last remnants of Angrund shatters and the battle, or shatter, and the battle is ours. I guess I was about to say there is a ghostly unit to still destroy. Unfortunately for us, the Slaughter Guard do magical damage, and the poor engineer has no chance against them. Fantastic. Oh, and the Fireglaves have tried to walk past them as well. There we go. With that, a very nice battle for Vashnar closes out the campaign for his army. Alrighty, there we go. The AI was given every possible advantage we could have given them in this, well, against this particular force, and they still failed in the attempt. So, well done, Vashnar. Slaughter call. Well, admittedly, the Infernal Guard didn't do too much in this particular battle, especially since, well, they can't hit gyrocopters, and the gyrocopters and the Iron Drakes all have massive amounts of fire resistance, and this army, rather, doesn't actually have a lot of anti-fire resistance. Now that I think about it, I was going to get another exalted hero in here to reduce enemy fire resistance so we get a little bit of that fire weakness going. But anyway, a nice fight, all told. We'll devour those captives and we'll capture Khorne next turn. And I don't believe we'll be seeing Clan Angrand again. Huh. I figured that Wargrove of Woe might attempt to attack us, but they did not. It was their chance to attack Arbol while he was damaged. What the heck is this? Oh, Vashnar. No, you don't need to Demon Prince. You're mortal permanently. There you go. Alrighty, and speaking of Vashnar, actually. Alright, Gorbad is out here with his giant piles of gobs, because we left him with one settlement and the only recruitment building he has is gobs. Poor fella. Vashnar. And our Gore Feaster. You're this guy? No. In fact, I would like you to go in a Chaos State, or possibly even to, War Shrine. You know what, maybe not in this army. I'd like you to be able to reposition. Alrighty, ready for duty, Morkar, Chaos Sword, good for Morkar. Alrighty, Vashnar. Huh, really? Now there's a frickin' Khorne Rebellion here? While we besiege it? Okay, fair enough. Why can't I? Are you kidding me? The Khorne Rebellion besieged it? Wow. That's it. So it punted us out of the siege. Well, at least the Khorne Rebellion besieging it prevented them from, well, you know, like healing up all their entire army, which would have been infuriating. And really? How did 2 units of Bloodletters and a bunch of dogs kill 150 rank 9 Chaos Warriors? Each with 166 armor, mind you. In what possible world would they wouldn't even have been able to hurt? Okay, whatever. Auto-resolve. Every time it's something with you, auto-resolve. I'm just gonna occupy it. We don't need the 100,000 money or whatever. Hey, we got to keep the Cultist Enclave, which is nice. And you know what? Keep the War Crucible. I don't care. Build defenses and build a trophy rack. Good for you. Alright, and frankly... Wait, I started upgrading Fort Saul, but you know what? You don't even need it, just abandon it. It serves no real purpose here. Gristle Valley. We'll send Moxia Scion Slayer this way. I was gonna give these heroes to Moxia. I just wanna see... Well, Moxia's already fought a million billion goblins once, but it was only one army, and it certainly wasn't with Gorbad bleeding. I think what we'll do is we'll besiege it, and we'll see if these guys want to attack us with like 3 stacks of gobs. Why not? Only with the one exalted hero, mind you, but it might be fun. Let's level up Moxia before that. Of course, you have no need of Malevolent Ranger or Speed and Malice in this particular army. I guess we could just make you a stronger fighter. We could get the enemy fire resistance reduction. The Forsaken do fire damage, if nothing else. Yeah, fair enough. Anything else? I mean, if you're gonna fight Gorbad, well, you're just gonna have to hope your stats are good enough for it. Alright, what about the exalted hero in here now? Obviously, Chaos Commander. We'll grab Fill the Chalice for this, for the enemy fire resistance reduction. I guess we'll start on Magicka's weakness. Alright. Good enough for me. Skarby, back to you, sir. And your severe damage. So, first of all, well, maybe not first of all anymore. What do we have in terms of defenses of Karakadrin? Actually, pretty good. With the Blood Hosts damaged as they are, they probably wouldn't be able to deal with it. And we can't have the Blood Hosts generating new Blood Hosts. You encircle. I guess if we send the Crimson Masters down here, we could move them with the Gore Reavers up to Grom Peak, which otherwise probably won't fall. I mean, well, at least without, you know... Look here. Alright. was gonna send the Blood Legion. Well, no, I was gonna say up to Needling, but no, that's not the case. It's not true at all. I lied. All right, you go here. We'll have you raise Eshin, and we'll delete you just so that you don't get in our way. Auto resolve. More damage than I'd like, I'm sure, but nothing to matter. That's a word. And then you are no longer. Well, actually, you know what? Move with these three. Go to Carrick Kadren. All together now. Here and here. There you go. Alrighty, send him into the mountains with Eddie in the lead, I believe. Eddie, go this way. You can heal and head to Mount Gunbed. Hopefully the Gore Reavers can take Grom Peak. Oh, we'll need to send somebody down to take Carrick Dromar. Alright. Skarby. I would like you to go to Needling. In regular stance, or whatever stance, summoning stance, I don't care. Hello, it's Jurgen Brandt. Did we not just defeat Jurgen Brandt like 5 minutes ago? Like an episode ago? How did he come back in a single turn? And this is the same guy. What the heck? That was the guy that fought the Blood Host in episode 25. It's only been 2 turns since. He's not Vlad, or maybe he defeated Vlad and has the super quick re-upping. You know what I mean. Weird. Surprising. Kind of neat. Alrighty, anyway. Oh, yeah. You go here. Skarby, have room for 1. Pop the Chaos Dragon in, I think. And Kagan will move it. Ooh, wait. I was about to say, well, we won't have enough room, but yeah, this is fine. Eh. What level are you two? Heh. I was going to... Oh, wait, let me just see one thing. Now, Tavi, the reason I wanted you to have Knights was because you have the upkeep reduction on Knights, but not on the Skull Crushers. Unlike Arbol, who... funnily enough, his Skull Crushers haven't leveled quite as quickly. Go figure. Oh, Ellen Delling's running around. I wonder... 3 Soul Grinders, not bad. I wonder how effective that's going. Alright, EU, go this way. Kislev is... I wouldn't quite say defensible, so maybe we'll send a... Okay, I'll resolve this. The Giant get absolutely wrecked or whatever. Bloodhost. Free Brass Cleaver. I guess now this is the episode that we're going to start picking up a billion items. You can reach Fort Yakova, but I'm willing to bet that you won't be able to auto-resolve it because the Giant is too badly beat up, so I guess we'll go to Igirov. We'll raid it for the turn, heal up, raise it, and then go to Fort Yakova afterwards. Alrighty, and then Mr. I'm just going to hope that you can survive for that time. I guess we could send the Crimson Feasters up to Prague as well instead. Hey, you know what? Somebody has to go up there. Go for Prague. I was really thinking that the Chaos Dwarfs would take it. We left an army of theirs right beside it after we sack it, and then they were like, you know what? No, screw you. Alrighty, how are we doing out here? These guys are running around? But they try to go to Zlatlan. We gotta give them an opportunity. Declare war. Just because we can. Don't bother calling allies to help, I don't really care. Mostly I just want the last fight for Major Rager, and the best place to find one is here. Especially with all that physical resistance on their units, the Marauders are certainly going to have a tough time. I'm hoping that they sally out. I want to see those 2 rogue idols in action. Alright, let's level up before they do, though. We got a few points to assign in this army now. We don't really need Retinue Trainer. We have Gate of Khorne, so let's go Blade Shield, Scarred Vet, Deadly Onslaught. And then you... Blade Shield, Scarred Vet, go figure. Deadly Onslaught, and you have an extra point that we can put into Thick Skin. More armor means surviving for slightly longer. Possibly, maybe. Blade Shield for obvious reasons, and grab Deadly Onslaught. And, I mean, I guess we could go through Woundmaker and Infernal Champion to hit a little bit harder. And the same thing for you, sir. Foe Seeker. Blade Shield, Woundmaker. Deadly Onslaught, Infernal Champion, and then second last, I lied. Scarblood Wrath, Murder, Deadly Onslaught. Everybody's getting a Deadly Onslaught today. That's the theme of this finale. Let's go for Slaughter. Whatever. Actually, I do care. Brass Collar, damn it. More resistance reductions, it's good, it's worth our time. Alright, and then you. I believe you have everything. Alright, so kill, maim. Actually, I should have gone for slaughter, but whatever. Murder, and you know what? I'd like you to keep up, so go for hunt.
In ourselves.
Frankly, well, actually, that'll make you faster than the cultists, the other cultists, but whatever. Alrighty, you're ready for a fight now, if we can get the enemy there. Skarby. For these guys nearby, I'd like you to now how to resolve this. Huh, we're missing one. Did I forget one? 1, 2, 3. Where's Kara Kagan Ironcast? Right here, buddy. Right here. And I also know, wait, do we have recovery yet? Again? No, we don't. Huh, we could also pop Destruction's Dictate and pop off another Blood Host if we wanted to auto-resolve this now. And it'll damage the Skull Reapers again. We'll raise another Blood Host just because we can. And, oh wow, why'd you move this way? I mean, I guess we could go all the way to Krugenheim if we really wanted to. Good question. I'm willing to bet that these guys will run and, oh wow, the Blood Host spawned kind of far away. Alrighty, I'm pretty sure these guys will run, but let's see where they go.
The path lies elsewhere.
And how they run.
Incarnate's name.
Like so, and like so, they will back off. They will not back up. Pyrrhic victory, you say. Alright, fair enough. I was kind of interested in seeing the Chaos Dragon, and we are pretty badly damaged. Not that I expect these guys to have a very good time, but we do have to watch out for that Templehof Luminarch sniping somebody. Go.
Nothing alive. Rejoice in slaughter. Bathe in blood.
Alright, we always do, Skarbrand, we always do. Here we go. Not the biggest of enemy armies compared to, well, the fight that Skarby had against Boris Todbringer and all, but still a fight worth fighting. And as usual, we need to take out the war wagons as our primary target. Although Skarbrand does get surrounded by the Knights of Everlasting Light, he does get stopped by the Net of Amantok, and then the mass of the Wonder of the Age is actually able to push Skarby around. And in addition to that, we do have our Chaos Dragon, our great Chaos Dragon, I should say, and it's a pretty great one. Here to help out, we've got 86 melee attack, very little melee defense, but I suppose just fits in with the rest of our Khorne units. Gonna get a Dragon Breath out in this one, targets the war wagons once again, but primarily to actually just get the breath in the midst of the enemy battle line, while the dragon lands and starts helping Skarbrand take out those war wagons so that they can not fire too much more. In the meantime, our Cygors have taken position up on this hill and are doing a good job chucking rocks into whatever enemies they can. I'm not controlling them, they're just there to, do what damage they can. The units of Chaos Knights of Khorne have also closed the distance with the Bordermen, destroying the handgunners pretty handily, and also engaging whatever other units they can as soon as they're done with those guys. And though they are severely damaged, these Skull Reapers will move in as well, probably tearing apart both Halberdiers and the Knights of the Everlasting Light, regardless of the fact that these guys are not anti-large, especially with the help of an Exalted hero and a Soul Grinder helping them out. No cannon fire? I'm just kind of running around and not shooting off its cannon. Come on now. You have an arm cannon. Ah, there you go. See, was that so hard? That's Khorne for you, I suppose. If anybody's going to forget that they have a ranged weapon available to them, it's probably these guys. And Skarby's doing a little bit of spin to win with his axes. The Khorne's Bloody Fist has joined him as well together with the great Chaos Dragon. And by the looks of it, the battle is very nearly ours now. The Wonder of the Age is still at 50% of its HP, but everybody else is on the verge of shattering, and certainly many of them have already routed. And just a little bit more work, and it looks like we now have a circle of Skull Reapers around the Soul Grinders and everybody. Just a matter of time until we bring down the Wonder of the Age. There we go. With that, the hope of the enemy is gone, and the battle is ours. Very, very nice. I definitely also like the sheer size of the Great Chaos Dragon. It is significantly larger than a Bloodthirster, and if we had gone on ahead to make an aerial army, a couple of these would have been very nice with it. and whatever else we chose to put in it. Cool on that shit giggle. Alright, there we go. I can certainly see why it's a great Chaos Dragon and not a regular Chaos Dragon, getting more kills at the very least than everybody else in the battle. Obviously not as much damage dealt as Skarby, but very, very close. So, a solid debut for the big boy. Requires a tier 5 building, so damn well better be. Here we will heal up. It's barely anything, but what choices do we have here? Hopefully we can run these guys down now without taking a million billion damage, which remains to be seen. Another Rock of Inevitability. A little bit too late, but whatever. Skarby, go here. Any of you guys can still move in to reinforce. And okay, apparently Kagan cannot, but that's perhaps okay because he's damaged and maybe too Okay, the Auto Resolve won't kill him. And it won't kill any of the Skull Reapers, but I'm willing to bet that it'll damage him. One died. And Kagan is pretty badly beat up, but all good. Go for Reap Captors, I don't care. Alrighty, a free Standard of Chaos Glory, a free Sword of Striking. Still don't have, well, and we're going to end the campaign with a fairly decent item shortage. I'm willing to bet Skarby won't be able to auto-resolve this, so I think we'll just let him heal for the turn. So go right here, outside of Wurtbad. And at the same time, this will allow you to see what's going on. Damn, no Carl still, eh? I just want the two to duel, but oh well. Remains to be seen if we can make it happen. You have items, yes? You don't, but I'm not sure that we have any items to give you. Alright, I was saving the Doomsinger and the Accursed Armor for our first exalted Bloodthirster and the 2 portal glyphs, as well as the other range stuff like Featherfoe, Torques, and Pigeon Plucker, Pendus Rage stuff, flying stuff. For a flying army, unfortunately I think that's not going to happen now, but whatever. Might be faster to reach Skarby this way. Now, you do have Mad's map. Let's see if it screws you. Guess we're about to find out. Go, Grell, Carnelitas, Evolve. Borkill, you can keep making those Bloodthirsters. You can go up this way, and you... one more turn. Will you be able to reach anybody? I don't know. We shall see. Technically, we should get more heroes out there, but I'm also disinclined to... You guys were gonna go to Tavi's army, right? To Tavi. And to Tavi. Like so. Not to Bastion, because Bastion has to have a Tormentor. So, you did not reach Tavi? Or did that other guy get in your way? Sickens me. His greed sickens me. Anyway, yeah, you're a menace, right? Yeah, so I was looking for another menace one, but I think I'm too lazy to find one now. Major Rager, stay besieged, as the enemy will sally out, I'm sure. Grawl the Blood Harvester. Yeah, it should be just about done with the rats. At the very least, I doubt they're going to be kicking around for too much longer, but we'll see. Bloodbound, I think you're going to end your campaign here in Crookback Mountain. Huh! You're level 20 and you didn't evolve? Really? What level do Blood Heralds have to be to become an exalted Bloodthirster? Huh. I thought it was like 16 or 18 or something. Apparently not. Not that it matters over much. Alright, Gorth the Cruel. What are you doing out here, sir? Well, you're away. You're actually quite far from Jarna Grun. What are you doing? He's fighting with Grimgor. Is he actually going to go up there and attack Grimgor? Is that what's happening? Huh. Interesting. I'm not sure I've ever actually seen him leave his main province. Weird, but I'm not complaining. I wanted Gorbad to attack Moxia to give him a final battle against a million billion enemies, but I don't know how effective that's going to be. Are you able to raise Fyldorf, or does the auto-resolve hate you too much with this little army in order to do it? I would also like you to fight a full stack, but I think it would deprive Moxia of you doing that, so I think not. Alright, let's see if we can't level anybody. You have the Wrathmongers and the Spawn in here. So, Spawn are buffed by... Wait. Bloodsoaked champions for Wrathmongers, and then spawn our part of Harbingers of Death. No defensive stats, unfortunately not. But not surprising. By any means. Cultist, you can get replenished troops, because obviously we're going to need it, and you can grab Brass Collar and Thick Skin for when you need it, and then save the rest of your points, and then obviously Chaos Commander, and I always do Raging Stalwart, and that's not going to change anytime soon. Magic is weakness and Fill the Chalice, and Chaos Commander, Raging Stalwart, Magic is weakness, and that's it. Yes. Alrighty, now quickly auto-resolve this, sir. Oh, do you want to go into summoning stance like so? I want you to. Let's see how much day. Yes. What is this? This is why I don't build these guys, though. The auto-resolve just hates them so much. They're basically unusable. If I were to find a nice little, nice little enemy stack, I would have used these guys as they are, but, go here. Might have you attack Steingard just for fun, though. I doubt that you're going to find a proper fight, sir. But to be perfectly honest, you're not super important, so it doesn't matter whether you do or you don't. Scarlet Feasters and Kuchar. Are you able to go past Rafrafa? No. Alright, fine. Go here. We'll have the Scarlet Feasters reinforce, and that should allow you to raise it and then keep moving.
Yes, officer.
Like so. And we're already building defenses. Obviously, I'm not doing the building anymore. Really? It's gonna kill the Karanax pups? Alright, fine then. You go into raging stance? It should be raging instead of raiding. Just a double check. Alright, fine. You stay here for the turn. You had your final fight essentially against Sartosa last episode, so it doesn't really matter. We're not looking for a final fight for you. If we find one, then great, but, not the most critical thing in the world, and I do believe that's it. Alright, so we can end the turn, and there should be some sallying out. Oh, we're positive income now. How the heck did that happen? I am genuinely not sure, because well, I guess some of our buildings will have been completed, but we don't really make much money from buildings. Dragonaz is our best territory, and it is... It just would have bothered me. And it is only making 2.5k, but that's still almost twice as much as anything else. Still interesting, though. Also, we do still have the Skull Throne available. Oh, right, I was kind of tempted to get another one of these, since Skarbrand can't auto-resolve, and really only Altdorf matters. Or Carl's main stack, if we can find one. Go for Destruction's Diktat. This should be led by an exalted bloodthirster. Yeah, there we go. That's a nice one. Alright. Good enough. Skip. Commandment available. Haha. And you can get the... Oh, you know what we could also do? Switch all commandments to Spill Blood, just for fun. Maybe I could have done that between the episode, but you know what? Let's do it. Spill Blood. 1, 2. Get like a solid plus, I don't know, 50% attack for everybody on the map. Could have done it earlier, but obviously it wasn't needed. I assume that this works. We'll find out, I guess. If it's broken, then obviously it won't. And if I had thought of this prior to seeing it right now, or prior to remembering the idea, I would have done this between the episodes, but I want to see how hard what Skarbrand's melee attack is going to be like after this. I mean, it's Khorne. Everybody's melee attack should easily be getting over 100, 150 at pretty much all times, so... Skipped one. Skull Road. Ah, and then I unskipped it. Yeah, damn me. Alrighty, what do we have here? You are losing public order because of the corruption. Do I care? I don't care. Let's see. Keep going. That had to have been like 20, right? In my defense, there was that one episode that did break, so it was all battles, so just count this as the admin aspect that we didn't need to see. A little bit of extra admin here. So, like so, nearly there. Fortunately, a lot of the last few territories do not have complete provinces, and this will be abandoned. Oh, I guess we could unabandon it just because of the additional thing. Yeah, but then if we... you know what, still abandon it. Oh no, I forgot where it was. No. Okay, that was Fort Saul. I just figure if one of these guys then takes it and then occupies it, it'll mean they have another territory remaining. Anyway, what I want to see is this. Skarbrand, your attack is currently at 113. Let's see what it's like when we end the turn. Well, okay, after we fight the several fights after we end the turn, but it should still be there. Huh. I wonder if Throug's gonna grab Prague. Guess we're about to find out. And I also wonder whether these guys will be constructed considering we have the... Alright, here's battle 1. Huh? Oh, no, we're just reinforcing. Okay, we don't care about this. At all. Ah, free Torment Blade, funnily enough. And this was not the fight we were looking for. Alright. Where are the sallying out we want? No. Broad, please. Not Sartosa. Not Reichland. The Bloody Hands. Yes, they will indeed sally a decisive victory. See, the Outer Resolve likes this army, but perhaps because we have 139 armor on these Marauder Horsemen, but they're still at only 12,000 HP. Like, less than a unit of Orc Error Boys, for example, and maybe not half as much as a unit of Savage Orc Error Boys, but if you crash a unit of super armored Marauder Horses into one of these guys, they'd still get torn to shreds, as in the Marauder Horsemen. Nonetheless, we got 2 Giants, we got 2 Rogue Idols. This is a Major Rager's last fight. Let's enjoy.
Let the rage flow within you, for this is what Khorne desires most of all.
Alrighty, here we go. Should be a great final fight for Major Rager, the Savage Orcs, and their physical resistances against our piles of Marauders and our few Skull Reapers and Wrathmongers as well. Our Berserk units have, well, little to do but rush directly at the enemy and see whether they can carry the day. The 2 Rogue Idols and 2 Giants are certainly going to be something of an issue for us, and the Rogue Idols especially are probably going to mince many a Marauder this day, or at the very least until Skarbrand Bloodwrath can bring them down. I do also enjoy watching these big boys fight. There we go. Marauders go flying, but perhaps they're too berserk to know that it's unlikely that they can do all that much against the Rogue Idols. Very entertaining. And of course we got the murderous exhortations as well as the sacrifice effect from the Boots of the Hound, as Scar has nearly defeated also the giant, or the first of the giants, which is down to 20% of its HP, while we in the meantime have begun our fight, our cavalry fight. It's not just infantry fighting amongst each other or amongst themselves, but our savage, or our units of Marauder Horsemen of Khorne have engaged the Savage Orc Boar Boy Biggins. In terms of rock, paper, scissors, the enemy's units are obviously have a major advantage here, especially with that 25 anti-large bonus that they have on top of the 45 physical resistance. But we have 4 units to their 2 here, so we'll see if these horsemen can carry the day. And normally, I probably would have just kited those guys around. We didn't actually have to engage the Boar Boys in melee. They're too slow to be able to catch up to Marauder Horses, because obviously they are a slow type of cavalry. And we could have just led them around and killed them all with the throwing axes, but this being a final fight, once again, we don't really care about casualties, we just care about some good fighting. And good fighting there is, and soon to be there was, by the looks of it. The Rogue Idols are collapsing. The first one falls. The first of the Giants has been felled by Skarbrand Bloodwrath, and the second one over on the other side is down to half HP, similar to the Rogue Idol here, which is currently being attacked by an exalted hero and Skarbrand Bloodwrath himself on approach. However, does Scar hit by 946 weapon strength? Honestly, I'm just being spoiled by Khorne, because obviously if this was another faction, 1,000 weapon strength would be extremely solid. but we can get pretty much all of our heroes hitting at around the same level, especially once they have their plus 30% weapon strength trait. I don't even know if this guy does. What I do know is that the enemy army is defeated by all counts, including infantry carrying the day against enemy infantry and monsters, and our horsemen and defeating the enemy units of Boar Boys. A nice final fight, and we bid farewell to Major Rager and Scar Bloodwrath. Alrighty, there we go, a very, very nice fight, and everybody got to play. The Marauder horses actually, well, it was 4 versus 2, but they were fighting Savage Orc Boar Boy Biggin's anti-large specialist cab, which would normally be an atrociously bad matchup, and though it took a fair bit of effort, they did manage to defeat them at the end. They were all roughly at about half HP, but looks like enough models remained for them to recover. Obviously, we got tons of damage on our Marauders and such, and of course there were various units of Skull Reapers and Wrathmongers to absorb the damage and deal the damage as well. A very nice army of Major Ragers here, and we will bid farewell to the Anointed Harvesters, Skarbrands, Headhunters, Bloodwake Berserkers, Calcium Collectors, and Bone Crusher. Well, Bone Crushers. Bloodwake Berserkers obviously being the regiment of renown. Anyway, these guys survive, but they won't survive for too long. Unless this punted us out, and it looks like Gorbad will indeed attack Moxia with 1,000,000 billion goblins. Alright, I'll take it. That was Major Rager's final fight, and this is Moxia. Let's see how quickly we can shred our way through Gorbad's last wah. Go. Alrighty, here we go, and Moxia started his army's debut in another fight against a massive pile of gobs from the remnants of the Iron Claw Orcs, and here again we will have 2.5 stacks worth of them. Well, actually some orcs as well from one of the from the garrison reinforcements, and we'll hopefully be able to fight in all directions. And I do mean that, as we're not going to directly charge this little army out here. We're going to wait until all 40 enemy units are on field, until we're surrounded and attacking everything in sight. Moxia, the Demon Prince, however, will not wait, and will instead close the distance with Gorbad. Ooh, Moxia looks great in this lighting. A little bit dark, certainly, but it's probably not something you want to see coming out of the woods. There we go. Magnificent. Yeah, he certainly still wants to go after Gorbad, not the small fry, as anybody can handle those, so he'll use his mass to charge through. And Gorbad appears to be trying to get away from Moxia, but that does make sense, as Gorbad's a decent fighter, but he's nowhere near Grimgor levels, and other more sort of duelist-focused lords are going to have a tendency to defeat him. And that's proven pretty quick, as Moxia kills him with about 3 or 4 hits. I mean, he does hit for 1.6k weapon strength, so it's pretty darn solid as well. But I guess his melee attack could use a little bit of work. 75-ish is a little bit low for Khorne, but keeping in mind that we are debuffed due to the anti-large debuffs within the tree line. Anyway, the rest of our army has been patiently waiting, as insane as that sounds, for a pile of Forsaken and Minotaurs, neither of which are known for their smarts or for waiting, or for following commands, most likely, but it is what it is. Yeah, the sort of glowy lava effects really look great for this lighting, don't they? But we're here to fight 1,000,000 billion goblins and everything else, to get a river of blood for Khorne and collect a mountain of skulls. And I think that can certainly be achieved with the sheer amount of enemies here. So we finally charge into the enemy blob, doing a massive amount of damage to the gobs, but of course with the enemy's piles of fast movers, i.e. their squig herds and their pump wagons on the left and right flanks, those flanks are going to be a lot more in danger. Moxie, of course, doesn't care for the small fry once again and will be going after the enemy orc war bosses. I believe he has 3 more of them, or their skulls, to collect over the course of this battle. We've gotten Gorbad, and the top half of that war boss disappears in a spray of blood and gore, and Moxia will move to the 3rd orc war boss. And there we go, and I do believe we got 1 more coming in, unless I'm mistaken, or am I mistaken? Or is there a shaman or something? I don't know. We'll see. Something's here. And I can't quite see where the other one is, but I trust that it's been defeated. Our units have also started to separate themselves from each other a little bit and have started to get surrounded by giant piles of enemies. We are horrifically outnumbered here after all, and it's not like we have any spells or even anything like murderous exhortations to punish the enemy for blobbing up like this. And we will start to take damage over time. You can see these Minotaurs of Khorne are down to 50% of their HP, and the goblins have in fact managed to fell one of the Minotaurs so far. And I do expect the numbers to rise. And of course, keeping in mind that our Forsaken have no melee defense, so anything and everything will be able to harm them. But that's the way Khorne would have it anyway. I love that goring animation where the Minotaur throws a unit up. Oh, looks like his textures are broken now. I wonder if that's all Minotaurs or just the Bulgor, the single Bulgor unit that we borrowed from our allies. Anyway, over all the way on the right flank or right side of the map, some spores being chucked at us from some of the pump wagons. Looks like the, or left from our perspective, flank, the enemy has been defeated. We are still very much fighting in the center where, well, these guys are pretty badly, well, this unit of Bulgors is badly beat up. And still surrounded and still very much in the fight, and still a ton of enemies over on this side as well. And it looks like our units of Forsaken are sort of forced to bunch up in a nice little blob. And frankly, a lot of the Minotaurs are starting to feel the hurt here. These guys are down to 40% of their HP. What's the melee defense on Minotaurs? 42. It's actually considerably higher than that of the Forsaken, but at the same time, I suppose the Minotaurs are also giant targets, so all of these squigs and orcs and whatnot are still able to attack them. And some of those blows will, of course, land. Alright, never thought we'd get a big fight like this against this giant pile of gobs, especially outside of Skarsnik or anything, and we're still fighting plenty of units over on this side, especially now that the Orc Biggins have arrived from the garrison. Well, we're just gonna have to carry the day either in the center or on the flank, and then help the other side out. And by help, I mean just collect skulls. The helping part is obviously incidental, not the way Khorne operates. Alrighty. And what do we have here? The Mount Sparrow's at about 80% in our favor, and reinforcements are still making their way onto the battlefield. And oh wow, there's still a fair few coming in. Pump wagons aplenty, and some fast movers, and 7 more units. Moxie did certainly not bite off more than it could chew, but look at that, 69 nice melee attack on the Orc Biggins when the Wa is up and running. Just out of curiosity, 50 melee attack on the Gobs thanks to Gorbad's Wa. Actually, it does make sense now that the damage is being dealt to our Minotaurs, and our Forsaken, of course. The only thing I regret about this battle is what I should have done is I should have parked the main army here and fought in the light. I kind of didn't think of it at the time, which is a bit unfortunate, as this turned out to be a rather darker looking map than I was expecting. But what can you do? Tactically, there is absolutely nothing I have to say about this. It's just a good old-fashioned brawl with this army. Though it does look like the center units have carried the day and are now moving to the last blob of enemies that remain. The bounce power is at 85% in our favor now, creeping towards us, so it looks like the Forsaken continue to lose numbers, even as the rest of the Khornate forces rush into battle and consequently to their aid. Or incidentally to their aid. And the Gorgons towering over everything is probably working out reasonably well for us. 359 kills on the Bloodbrute Behemoth so far, and there we go, all three of them are together here. And I do believe the battle is very nearly ours now. The sheer amount of losses that the enemy army has taken should be telling at this point. The bounce power is at 90%. A couple more units to chase it down and force to rout or shatter. And though we have certainly suffered damage here, the enemy had no real hope of winning. Especially with Moxia taking out all four of the enemy Lord and Hero units. Oh, maybe it was a Black Orc Big Boss I was thinking of rather than the three Warlords, which is why, or War Bosses rather, which is why I couldn't see the icon when I was looking at it. But I do remember killing something with Moxia, so. Anyway, with that, I do believe the enemy is, I was about to say is pretty much done, but no, still more reinforcements making their way out to the battlefield, and ooh, the Bulgors have separated themselves from the other army, perhaps having gone into rampage, like the Minotaurs occasionally do. And now they're fighting piles of orcs together with gobs, but by themselves they will take more damage, but at the same time they will deal more damage. These guys up to 300 kills now. And certainly proving their value in terms of us having gotten them from our allies. Oh wow, look at that. The pump wagons have enough mass to actually bowl a Minotaur over. That's really, that's how far the Minotaur fly. Look at that. Okay, that's ridiculous. They should not be flying anywhere near that far from those little tiny pump wagons. Like, I get it if the pump wagon built up... Oh, man. I've always thought that pump wagons are obnoxiously overpowered for their cost, well, especially the spiky rollers. Or, I should say specifically the spiky rollers. And I didn't even realize that they could do this to monstrous infantry. Good lord. That's kind of insane. Oh, but it's also ridiculous. Anyway, there we go. It looks like with that, I believe the enemy army has at long last suffered too many losses to continue, though again, they did dish out decent bits of losses to our own army as well. Fantastic work out of the Bulgors. I am actually very curious to see how they did after this long bout of fighting compared to the rest of our Minotaurs. Since they are not Minotaurs of Khorne, they do have the mark of Khorne. Yes. Anyway. Alrighty, there we go. 8.6 thousand gubs, and most of them, or at least 6.5k of them, were cut down. And I guess we got some orcs in the reinforcement thing here, but yeah, certainly not what this army was, well, intending to, or sort of did foresee, I guess, it going over here, but it's had some fun little fights, to the point that even some of the Minotaurs were brought down under the hordes of goblins. These guys were down to 8 out of 12, and they were actually down to like 30% of their HP. It's a lot of gobs, even you know, quantity is a quality of its own, etc, 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 and of course the gobs just meat shields while everybody else does damage. but that's kind of how an orky faction should work in the first place. So yeah, anyway, Moxia, he claimed Gorbad's skull and then the skulls of three more orc warlords plus the enemy shaman, so pretty solid, but then still managed to rack up 411 kills and 61,000 damage. In fact, more kills than, not the entire army, but there are 3 units that got more kills than him. 81,000 damage on the Bloodbrute Behemoth, good lord. Huh. This thing is an anti-large specialist single entity killer. How the heck did it do this much? Good lord. I mean, I guess when you're a big monster wading through ranks of giant piles of gobs and killing them with every attack, it doesn't really matter that you're not an anti-infantry specialist, because you'll just tear them all to shreds anyway. Absolutely magnificent. And of course the Forsaken did well as well, racking up at max 456 kills with 41,000 damage. A lovely time. And hey, looks like our Bulgors that we borrowed, let's see, wait. With 49,000 damage, the Bulgors, with the Mark of Khorne, but not being a, well, from our own army, did manage to outkill the Khornate Minotaurs. Good for them. Alright, anyway, we will, I don't know. Oh, it might punt us out of the, alright, fine, devour captives. The game does have a tendency to, oh, huh. I guess this faction is done, so they're just, yeah, they're just willing to die like this. Blood for the Blood God. There we go. Huh, I saw the ogre symbol on the settlement before it got destroyed. Interesting. And what is this? Ah, Grawl Carnalitas Evolve. A little bit late, buddy, but yeah, sure, you can continue as an exalted bloodthirster. Huh. I shouldn't have done that. It killed all your movement range. You you lost the bonus movement range from Mad's map by virtue of that. Oh, game. You had to screw me on that one, didn't you? But oh well, what can you do? Yeah, free banner of Hellfire. Alrighty. And Talzin destroyed? Huh. Good for these guys. Oh wow, what the heck happened here? Oh, between, I guess we're not going to Athalora, it's all gone. Well, perhaps not surprising. Good job to the rats, though. I was going to kill the rats, too, which we were going to do, admittedly, but obviously there isn't any real need anymore. Moxia, I don't think this guy has a chance to kill you, so you're going to go over here, and even if they attack Karakazor, I don't think they have a prayer. You go to Grimhold. Tear it down. Oh, these guys are still kicking. Well, the rats will probably get him either way. Out of resolve and severe damage, but we don't care, and then skulls it up. And then keep on moving all the way to Karak Norin. Oh, Mountain Pass attrition, so just go a little bit closer, but anyway. You, Uzul Bane Hassa, are going to go into this army. And you're supposed to have a cultist, but I guess Karnath is here, so just go into the army. I don't even remember which army I was going to send Karnath to, but might as well. Oh, not this one, definitely, because they're both battle masters. I guess it was one of these then. Alright, fine. Go here. Whatever. I'll get an... Oh, look at that. This guy survived. Not for long, though. Go and kill him right now. And will the auto-resolve allow it? It will. Let me guess, it's going to take these 4 down to 1 HP. Oh, wow, it didn't. Alright, let's take the opportunity to heal up a teensy bit, and then raid for a turn. Heal up a little bit more, and then attack Steingard just for fun. Yeah. Alrighty, faction destroyed. Poor Gorbad, he was doing well, and then he wasn't. Alrighty, so what do we have here? We're on the way to Altdorf, but that will probably be the final battle of the campaign. I would like to send our 2 built at last slaughter brutes to try to join Skarby. I don't know if they'll get there, but they should try to move. Gore Reavers, go to Grand Peak. Oh, I think you're too severely damaged to... Whatever, just die then. If you're too severely damaged, then, well, you're not gonna survive, whatever. Alrighty, you. Go take Mount Gunbat. Out of resolve, this better not kill our piggies. How did the... Okay. It's a pile of Skaven slave slingers. It's a... and a couple of rat ogres with no melee defense. How did they kill all of these chaos I'm surprised every time. Surprised and annoyed. You know what? Just for the purposes of auto-resolve, since the campaign is effectively done, I'm just gonna evolve these guys to Chosen. It'll just make them stronger in auto-resolve. They were never supposed to be Chosen. I was just gonna keep them as Chaos Warriors, but all good. Whatever. Chosen them up. That should prevent them from dying a lot more in auto-resolve, I think. Huh. Not really. Maybe it did, maybe it did, I'm not entirely sure. And you did not get to keep the gold mine, not that the money matters at this point. Alrighty, and our allies look like they've got this all cleaned up, so we'll just have Grawl and Gulgas move to the Tower of Gorgoth and raise it. I assume that this is the last territory, yes. We'll just have you two come on in. You can reinforce in march stance, I think. And then you won't be needed here anymore, so we'll move you to reinforce, and then we'll allow our allies to occupy these territories because we don't care about them. We only cared about Crookback Mountain because of the Cultist Enclave. Frankly, wouldn't even... well, I guess the Demon's Stump. But that's past mattering, obviously. Out of resolve, I assume nobody will die. I didn't even check, but we're good. And raise it just for the Skull Throne. Hey, there we go. Domination campaign victory. That's why I raised the Blood Hosts. I just wanted to make sure that we... Oh, good lord, look at the red increase. It's a frightening amount of corn. Anyway, what was I saying? Yes, that's why I wanted to get the Blood Host online, so that we made sure we get the Domination campaign victory. Can Khorne really end the campaign without a Domination campaign victory? I don't think so. Alrighty, you guys, you're good now. Just stay together, and I think you can end your campaign here. Admittedly, Grawl probably had the most, he never got his Blood Crushers, but the Heralds of Khorne's Fury were with him the entire time, so it doesn't really matter that we didn't have regular Blood Crushers when we had the Super Blood Crushers. Blood was crushed, rest assured. You are not in range of Prague? You are not in range of Prague. Well, screw you too. Then go right here, rate it, I guess. Try not to pick up... Is that a Skaven Plague? It is a Skaven Plague. Get a Jugger Plant. Even at the end of all things, or campaign, you can never have too many Jugger Plants. You, Arbol. Go to Igorov. And you know what? I'm going to do the same thing with you, wherein I was going to keep you to all Chaos Warriors, but to make the auto-resolve favor us a little bit more, we'll go with Chosen here. You will become Skull Crushers. And wait, can't you become a Skull Crusher or no? One level short? Yeah, alright. Now, will the auto-resolve still kill the dogs? It'll kill a giant. Alright, so you sit here for a turn. You just sit there, buddy. Now it won't kill the giant because... Oh, actually it will. Alright, fine, in the circle. Just sit there for a turn while the giant heals up. Or we get... Wait a moment. You in range. I was gonna send you down to Fort Yakova or out here, but frankly... Yeah. Alrighty, Skarby. The important one. I'm perfectly happy to send you southward to Averheim because it actually takes you, at least for a few seconds, a little bit closer to some of the other stuff. As in the stuff that's coming in. So we'll do that, and then everybody else here will reinforce. Not the Blood Legion. Well, actually, maybe the Blood Legion. It would prevent us from taking as many casualties, I'm willing to bet. You guys can also all reinforce. I'm not actually sure you can reach the place, but give it a shot. No, not Kjarl. I don't even know who Kjarl is anymore. I don't even know who I am anymore. Where will I be without Khorne? Anyway, alrighty, let's do this. Obviously an auto-resolve, and I just want these guys to get closer to Skarby. We can't replenish their movement range, can we? No, I don't think so. Alright, auto-resolve. I'm willing to bet it's still going to severely damage our Skull Reapers, but maybe not. Wait. Yeah, see what happened to the spawn of Khorne? Again, this is why I don't build them. It's just unusable. Averheim, another Blood Host. And still make Blood Hosts, and oh wow, you can't reach... actually, you can get to Wurtbad. You can raise that on Flensburg. We still have a little bit of time to get to Altdorf and hopefully beat these guys here, and hopefully Kjarl will show up at some point somewhere. Not banking on it, but you never know. And then the Blood Legion, you can move into reinforce. We'll waste your troops to help out Farmort. You know what? I think you're never going to reach anybody. I mean, you can still move this way, but I doubt you are going to make it anywhere in time. So I'm not going to bother with you. You're going to heal here for a turn, so you're fine. And you guys are stuck where you are. Just stay together in case somebody attacks you so that you can, you know, well, stay together and protect each other. Alrighty, Skarby, take this. Auto-resolve it. Nice. Blood hosts are certainly helping in that regard. Yeah, free bloodstone. More bloodletter summons that we could have used for the bloodletter army. And Skarby, you're by yourself at Flensburg. Or we could go past it and heal. I'm gonna say go past it and heal because we're gonna be damaged and this stuff all needs to be erased. What do we get at Nullen? Boris is back. Diplomatic relations with Chaos. The Throne of Chaos. Control +2 faction-wide. Oh, I wanted to see what... Melee attack 150. From 113 to 150, so we gained 40 melee attack, which is not so bad, but pretty much every one of our units is starting to go over 100, so that's pretty nice. Martin von Karstein, one of the lesser-known von Karsteins. To Grakadrin. And you all reinforce and then delete yourselves after. This is the power of infinite blood hosts. It's kind of obnoxious, but again. Like so. And the skulls. There we go. Now, are any of you viable enough to... Well, you could probably take a minor settlement, like move to Nashrax there or something. So even with Mountain Pass attrition? You can take too much damage. I think you have to raid. No choice in the matter. Too bad we can't make you immune to attrition, but it is what it is. Go, go, go. And you... Okay, you're definitely non-viable. I'd rather not move you. Or not bother with you. Eddie, you still... Oh, wait, no. That was last turn. Major Rager, you've ended your campaign, as in you're done, minus the fact that we still need to... What? I was like, Vec Hall the undefeated? I was like, wait a second. Did Harball... We have Harball at home. Auto-resolve and... Blood for the Blood God? Tier 5 or not. Neither money nor skulls matter anymore. I don't know, the little army disappeared. Is Oshiotla worthy of a fight? I don't think so. At least I doubt it. His army doesn't look strong enough, and the last fight of Major Ragers was pretty good, so I'm happy where he ended up. Grawl is done, Pav is done, Bastion is waiting, Bloodbound is with the... Yeah, Bloodbound is with Grawl, Arball is waiting for the turn, Bashnar. I mean, we could send you out in case you find something. I guess the question is where. There's really not a lot of enemies here. I guess you'd go into the Empire as well. I was originally gonna send you to fight the Empire sort of on even terms. At least you fought the dwarfs on even terms, and it certainly gave you a fight. A nice fight at that. Oh, the Doom Fiends, you're still able to move. Go capture, occupy Dotternbach for the iron, though it looks like you won't be able to occupy it for yourself. You're, okay, unresolve, and occupy. Alrighty, we didn't get to keep the iron, but all good. Switch to mortal. Alright, wasn't there another blood host that was still able to move? Yeah, look at all the billion blood hosts. Like I was saying, we could have done this from the start. There just wasn't any need. I guess somebody should go up to Kappelberg. We're in the process of annihilating all the Empire, so might as well continue in that manner. Pyrrhic look at this. Pyrrhic victory. Pyrrhic victory. This is a field battle with a bunch of garbage state troops, including swordsmen tier 1 and halberdiers tier 2, whereas we have exalted bloodletters with mass above 75 armor and 64 melee attack base. We have 2 frickin' bloodthirsters, a soul grinder, and all this, and this is a Pyrrhic victory. We'd probably suffer like 10 losses, max. Pyrrhic victory, auto-resolving nuts. Skulls. Alrighty, now, unfortunately, the Pyrrhic victory probably means you won't be able to take out Kappelberg, but I guess we'll see. It depends on if it has defenses or not, which it does, so we'll need to send another blood host down there. I guess Arball can get another one going. A few turns and the Empire will be gone. Anyway, I do believe that. I do believe that is the end of the turn, yes? Or at the very least. Just double checking the important ones, which is the Slaughter Brutes and the Man Blight. Yeah, just random piles of units. Commandment available. Hey, more attack. Spill blood. No more commandments available. Ah, more commandments available. Go figure. Spill blood. Yes. Alright, I end the turn. Faction encountered. Heshwetla. We are... Again, I'm curious as to how we're encountering them. Oh, I see the Cult of Pleasure just occupied a couple of territories on Ulfwan. Good for them. Ruinous. Oh, right. I forgot these guys were besieging. Decline. We'll just auto-resolve this real quick. Oh, they have another territory over there with the iron. One of the original reasons that I wanted to attack them was because they dared to claim a spot of iron. Only we're allowed to have those. And World Roots Interception. Funnily enough, we could fight this and kill them all, but it's a weak enough army that I don't really care. Let them have it. It's not like we don't have infinite blood hosts. And Kagan, is this you? It is. It is indeed. I was going to make you into a demon prince, I think. Go for it, buddy. Let's see if you got a... Oh, you got to keep your name, eh? Confederation Reichland Norland, did you get... Huh. He got the Mauler trait. Good for him. The bonus 25 armor is actually really quite nice for him. Yeah, much better trait than Moxia got, unfortunately, for Moxia, but it is what it is. And speed for Spawn, Blood Beasts, and Slaughter Brutes. Frankly, the additional speed on Spawn may not be such a good thing, in that the auto-resolve might hate them more and kill them more because of it, but who knows. Who's the real monster here? Anyway, let's see. Skarby. Do we have anything interesting? Still Boris. Oh, no Carl. What is Carl doing? Where is Carl? Bring me Carl. Bastion, I don't think you're gonna reach a proper fight, so I'm just gonna send a mob of giant piles of the spawn at, I'll resolve this. Bloodhost. Hey, you for once move forward. Not quite far enough to reach Nolan, but still good. Huh, actually we could reinforce if we send the Doomfiends at it. Funnily enough. Go for it. Yeah, just wait, game, just wait. Relax. Everybody relax. Nobody panic. Maybe a little. Alrighty, now how to resolve this. We'll not kill any of our second reinforcing stack and occupy Nullen. We don't get to keep the Throne of Chaos because it's a tier 4 structure, but oh well. Not like it matters. If the AI could appreciate its doom approaching like this, well, I'm sure it wouldn't be super happy about this whole situation. Anyway, you two, I think... I was gonna have you reinforce Skarby, but I think we're gonna move you both up to Talabaim and see whether you can take it together. This way keeps us out of Talabaim, essentially. And, where's Martin going? Is he going to attempt to reclaim Castle Drakenhof? He might be. And the annoying aspect of this is the fact that... Alright, you know what? You two. Go here and intercept him. Oh, he didn't build defenses there or anything. You know what? Delete this and replace it with defense. Well, no, it needs public order. Well, it doesn't really need a public order, but whatever. Oh, we also have the army spawn, and we have target settlement will be raised. We could just raise Altdorf if we really wanted to. Huh? Oh yeah, target settlement would be raised. But we're not gonna. Well, we could raise one of those up there. Raziak, nothing critical there. You're gonna have to loop around and go to Grand Peak. Suffer a turn of attrition, I don't really care. You'll be fine. Then you'll regain your HP. And Vlad is back at Raziak. Maybe Martin's his bannerman. So, how close are you now? No, not you. How close are you now? You're getting there. And how close are you now, Moxia? Wait, not Moxia. Oh no. Mad's map sent Man Blight back the way he came. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna take Mad. Well, what's the likelihood that it happens again? I mean, very well might. Alright, we'll give it a shot. It's 20%. Oh, Wendy Wolseley went down here. I was going to send Moxie around to deal with Findal, but we'll send Bastion around that way. You then go to here. You quickly auto-resolve her Frafa. Damage or not. Raise a Blood Host here. The Blood Host's gonna go northward while you proceed this way. Go to sea. And go grab Magritte. There you go. It's not enemy territory, but you should heal up nicely. Then Skarby, for like the 30th time, go blend spur. Oh wow, this takes all of your movement range. I don't like that. Alright, start with Kemperbad then. Auto resolve. I probably should have moved some of the other guys in so that he didn't take his... Wow, you had to go around like that, didn't you? Funnily enough, it puts you into range of Altdorf, but we're not taking it right now. Go to Grunberg. And then... auto-resolve it. We don't need to fight Boris again, we've already sort of defeated him. Sort of because that was the battle with the little bit of a desync, but whatever. And then go back around. I was hoping to hit Flensburg, which actually we still could. Go here. All of you. Reinforce at Flensburg. Like so, and like so. I have a strong suspicion that Skarby's gonna have to wait for a bit. Would Findal be the better? I was about to say it would be the better fight for this army, but I fear that they're just gonna run. Seems like the thing. Anyway. You. Go for summon a small hostile army. Hit Skarbrand with it. Like so. Auto-resolve it. How the heck did all three of the Cygors lose 50% of their HP? Wow, this has been a... This entire episode has been a lesson in the auto-resolve's absolute insanity. In what word... Every time. And alright, you can still auto-resolve by the looks of it. Alright, 1 HP or not, we're still good, and another Blood Host. Despite the fact that we keep popping out these Blood Hosts, every turn we are still gaining HP, or gaining skulls rather, not HP. We're very much losing HP. Alright, you're gonna go here. We'll meet outside of Altdorf with our other armies. As in with the big boys. And I'm still looking for Karl, but I don't know. I fear he's not gonna come back. I just want Skarby to get his final battle at Altdorf if Karl won't show. Which is a distinct possibility. You go here. The statues of the gods, we just have to knock these out with a couple quick little auto-resolves to make sure that they don't raise any of our territories down here. Not that the territories matter at this point, obviously. Graal's good, Eddie's good, Pav is good, Bastion is... Alright. I'm gonna say let's fight this for fun. Oh, it's so weak though. I could try to find a better one, but there's a decent likelihood that we just aren't able to. In which case it would obviously be better to fight something rather than nothing. Go figure, right? These guys do fire damage? They do. That they do. Go for brass collars, sir. And then you will go for... Not for Forged in Blood, not for Khorne's Chosen, although the Wrathmongers would like the buff. Rush to Slaughter versus... go for Khorne's Chosen. Alright. Again, is this worthy of our attention? It's so weak. But then the spawn rush... You have to see it, right? You never know if this army finds another fight. Just go.
Pick your bows from among these wretches, and then rend them apart.
Alright, here we go. Just gonna be a smaller fight against a garrisoned minor settlement, but at least it gives us a minor settlement fight at the in the final episode. This army I don't really care that much about, especially since the Jabberslives were with Skarbrand for a long time, as we were using them as slaughter brute proxies, and they reached their max rank, so they fought a lot. And obviously we'd seen Wrathmongers fight a fair bit, especially with the Major Rager's army. Still, though they are effectively useless due to the auto-resolve, I did want to see a few of the meatballs fight, or a few more of the meatballs fight. We did see them a couple of times in defensive battles. And there we go. Now these guys are reliant on taking damage while staying in the midst of infantry piles, which causes these explosion effects that they have on them. And if they take damage, they can do a fair bit of damage as well. It's just that they're fragile, and taking damage is not really a good thing when you're considering auto-resolve. Now, technically speaking, this army is a contact effect army, with the exception of the piles of chaos spawn, which is, I mean, I guess it's kind of like a contact effect. You have to be, well, I guess you don't have to be in contact with them for the explosions too. Well, you do for them to damage you, but anyway, it's not important. What is important is, yeah, we have other contact effects here. We have poison and the toxic venom from the Jabberslives and the Dreadmaws, and of course the spurting bile blood, as well as maim from the Wrathmongers, and bleed and poison from our heroes. And the spawn just cause explosions just because we have them and just for fun. And by the looks of it, they're doing a fair bit of that and disrupting the enemy formation. And they do seem to work decently well when there are multiples of them working together, and I guess the pro tip, you probably want to use these in a way that is similar to the way that you might want to use vanilla, not SFO, eagles, as in when they're single entities, and similar to vanilla or SFO manticores, where you want to usually keep at minimum 2, better yet 3 of them together in a little grouping. And I expect the same thing is true of these chaos spawn when they're, well, they seem to work quite well together. Just the auto-resolve gives them enough of an issue that it's, well, they're still not the most viable things in the world. Anyway, looks like the spawn and the Jabberslives have broken through the piles of enemies defending, I believe this is essentially about 2/3 of the enemy army. So in rather short order, we'll carry the day. We're going to burrow our 2 Dreadmaws. We're going to send them to go and kill that mortar, while, since the units of spawn are pretty much the only ones that haven't had a lot of playtime in this particular campaign, we'll let them fight a little bit more. Especially since, once again, whenever playing Chaos, I always build Spawn and Forsaken very early, and I usually like to change it up a little bit, so in this particular run I ended up building Spawn and Forsaken very, very late instead, and focusing on other units. And there we go, the Spawn rush through the enemy ranks once more to close the distance with the Halberdiers. Which one of the Spawn will explode? Place your bets now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Which one will explode first, I should say? Oh, and it was number 3. I was going to say number 6 because it was by itself over on this side, but it might have been on cooldown, or it might have not taken enough. Number 6 exploded. Second. Alright, and there we go. Look at the bloody remains of all of those units. The explosions are certainly dishing out the damage, as the halberds and the crossbows and the swords are all down to below half of their HP. And there's more flailing limbs, horns, tentacles, and whatever the heck else these spawn are made of. They've got like minotaur heads, I believe, and stuff for Khorne. Well, they'll be able to take them out in short order. Alright, the rest of the army is just watching for their entertainment. The 2 Dreadmaws have unburrowed and destroyed those poor enemy artillery crews, and now they're fighting because Khorne, I guess. I mean, they're not really, they're going after the crew, but it looks like they were attacking each other instead. I like I like those 2 working together. I don't know, it's kind of entertaining. Anyway, they'll take out the rest of the crew just because we can, but with that, I do believe the battle is done. A single unit of archers remains, which will get exploded, as I guess the cooldown was down on these guys. Keep in mind there isn't only a single use of the explosion ability on these, it just goes on cooldown. So if they take damage and then they use their ability and then they back off, then they get back into the fight, they can use them multiple times. Like I've said before, it's not a bad unit, it's just that the auto-resolve makes them effectively useless. Because you can never auto-resolve any fights where you have the meatball presence. And with buffs, they can probably hit for well over 1,000 weapon strength, so they are pretty hard hitting as well. But anyway, I digress. A nice little battle for the spawn ends here. There we go. A silly little fight, but I wanted to make sure that we got to use the Chaos Spawn at least once without having to go through the absolute hassle of forcing them to fight every minor battle because the auto-resolve hates the spawn over the course of the campaign. And clearly they did some damage, it's just that they're a unit that's based on taking damage in order to do damage, but without an ability to easily get them back up to decent shape without a heal on them. They are just too badly, they just get too badly beat up, whether it is auto-resolve or not auto-resolve. But solid amounts of kills and damage, clearly. They did well, and outdid, in fact, both of the Jabberslights, which is certainly a credit to them. Raise Bloodhost. Like so. And, I wonder if there's a limit to the amount of Bloodhosts we can raise before the game just straight up freaks out. It's possible. Anyway, go this way. See what these guys are thinking about all this situation. You're gonna go to Carrick Buffdar. I believe you raised 2 Bloodthirsters. I don't believe they're going to join us, but again, I believe it doesn't matter just by virtue of the fact that we've been using summoned Bloodthirsters pretty much since, like, the first episode, so all good. Alright, Gilgaz doesn't need to move, Arbol. Alright, you were waiting because your giant got so severely beat up by the auto-resolve, but with the presence of these Scarlet Eaters here, perhaps that's not going to be the case. Hey, there we go, the giant survived decent HP. Bloodhost, number 30 or something. And then, can you reach Fort Jakova? Yes, you can. And Scarlet Eaters, can you reinforce it in March stance by the looks of it? We'll move you on in. Like so. And wait a moment. Nope, still not high enough rank. Man, it was tough to get these guys up to Skull Crusher level. Spirit Victory, and I'm sure damage for the Giants, but that doesn't matter because we were going to occupy the place. And we keep the iron. We do keep the iron and the defenses. Very nice. Don't care for the void armor. Alright, you are probably not viable, but we can still use you to reinforce it Kirakungor real quick before you're replaced by the Wrathful Fiends. Alrighty. Obviously at this point it's just painting the map for fun. Actually, there's not really any need to keep doing this in the sense that the main reason I wanted to do this was for the objective, which we achieved, so we could just stop right now if we wanted to. I guess one thing though, I do want to make sure that a few more armies are defeated and the likelihood of us getting... Can you go out to sea? Like this. The likelihood of us losing territory to random little, you know, wandering enemy armies is low. Wow, 3 Soul Grinders in this army. That's nice. Go raise Prague. Yeah, I'm sure the 3 Soul Grinders and the Bloodthirster would have had a real tough time against that garbage. Alright, and Ice Court destroyed. Oh, right. Bloodhosts can't raise strong Bloodhosts. All good. These guys far enough away from anything that they're probably... Yeah, I'm not gonna bother. Bye. And... So you can move... Try to move to Castle Von Raken. In theory, potentially. The Bone Hunters, you're one of the new ones. Malazan reference. Anyway, you... Oh, right. Somebody needed to go to Carrick Dromar. And you've drawn the short straws there, Bone Hunters. Oh, then they're Bone Hunters and they're gonna go after the skeletons, the Graveguard. It works. Alrighty, skip. Commandment available. More attack for everybody. Spill attack. Spill blood, rather. Spill attack. Alrighty, end the turn. Skarby, buddy, I fear you're just going to have to sit there now for a few turns. Alright, and Karnath was moving somewhere, but it doesn't really matter where. I'm praying that Carl shows up and starts recruiting a full stack at Altdorf. I don't think so, but you never know. It's kind of weird that we haven't seen him in a while. So, who just popped up at Altdorf? The Bloody Hands. Poor Wurzag. He liked us too, at least somewhat. Oh, wow. I could just raise a half stack and got a half a wa in a single turn? What the heck? If you can do that, how did you manage to lose against the lizards and the high elves? Come on now. Desolation of Asgore secured. Minotaur armor. Hey, Carl's at Altdorf now. Alright, so now all we have to do is hope that he doesn't leave to attack Throg here, while we sort of sit near him with Skarby. So Skarby and the Gore Eaters. Dibs on the band name. A horrific band name, but I like it. You're gonna not be in range, so go here to near to Ubersreich, and I guess here. We gotta wait for Carl to recruit, so we don't have to go anywhere, in theory. Go here, and then you guys just sort of sit together. And I want to draw Carl away to where he'll die, if that makes sense. And somebody has to go this way then. Okay, so you go this way. Probably, and then Bastion, I guess we're gonna send you around this way as well. Just because we can. You're gonna get in each other's way. Oh, well, they didn't get in each other's way. Freaky. Raid. Alright, get Man Blight. You are trying to reach Skarby. I'm just gonna transfer him half of this stuff for his final fight. And then these guys, I think you're probably good. Tavi has, wait. Rank 29. The Red Hunters are probably needed to protect them, so we'll keep them there. Let's raise Talabaim with whichever one of you has more HP attacking. Auto resolve. And we're not going to bother making a blood host, so just skull it up. Good. And... you probably can't take out a gig, which is a tier 5. Middenheim is low. Huh. But I gotta use it for something. Color battle. Raise that gig. There we go. Oh, it's so cruel. Poor Empire. They're not having a good day. Or a good couple of turns. And keep in mind, this has been, what, like 3 or 4 turns since the start of the episode? We haven't gotten through this entire thing, and we were, I think, part way through it. So yeah. The Empire has fallen in that time. And that's just how ridiculous Khorne is, but, you know. All the Khorne factions and Khorne-adjacent factions like Torox have a similar ridiculousness in this manner. Anyway, Tavi, Major Rage... Alright. 2 more settlements to raise, and then we can stop moving Major Rager. Really? Really? What happens if we Lightning Strike? It prevents the Wa from coming in here. Huh. The one army that we got Lightning Strike with, because we don't really need it anywhere else. Alrighty. It's just kind of not needed against the AI, generally speaking, which is why I almost never bother with the blue line. You have to go through too many useless points on most factions. Not all, some have a good blue line, but most factions, too many useless points in order to get to the Lightning Strike, which is the one good aspect of it, generally speaking. Though, yeah, there's also upkeep reduction and stuff, but, you know. I prefer to just leveling up the army. Every little bit counts when trying to make sure that the auto-resolve doesn't kill off all your units. Freaking auto-resolve. I wonder, would you guys fight Arbol?
No.
Arbol, go here. Go to the edge of this territory and stay. No, I don't want you to lose mana. Go here. I'd like you to heal up to full. If there are 2 stacks over there, maybe. Okay, you are, well, I was about to say non-viable, but also you kind of are non-viable. You go here. We'll send you 2 together to Karak Ungor and maybe send Darbol to get Martin for his final fight. I was hoping that these guys would... Wait, you're level 8 now. You're not. But at least that's another Blood Crusher. I like so. Man, I'm almost wondering whether I should just end this episode and make a part 3 of this finale, because it's taking a lot longer than I was expecting, but at the same time, it's a finale. They have a tendency. In my defense, I don't know if this actually works in my defense or the opposite. It pretty much happens every time. Wait, wasn't there a little army here? Oh, right, there you go. Go here, try to chase after. Oh, and it lost where the position was. That was Moxie. Kuchar is next. He was going all the way out here. Not even gonna bother with the island. I mean, he could have, but whatever. Alright, Kjarl. Farmort doesn't need to move anymore. He's fine. You're fine. Okay, you definitely need to move. This is the one of the critical ones. You need to get to Skarby. Desperately trying to do that together with Manblight. I wasn't even gonna put the Slaughter Brutes in Skarby's army, but if he's gonna have a final fight, I'd like to bring the Slaughter Brutes. Hopefully Kjarl will have a full stack by then. I can't guarantee it, but you never know. Huh, I wonder where Dothan of Forgotten is going. Really build some defenses at Castle Drakenhof. It would have been unfortunate to lose it after all this. If we played it, we could obviously kill this army off, but it's, by the looks of it, just piles of basic Malevolent Dryad, so I don't think I care enough. You know what? You two stay here. And just in case these guys move. No guarantee that they do, but yeah, we'll see. Alright, you. Out of resolve, then you're non-viable, so skulls, and then delete yourself. Like so. Lovely. Alright, we've got a couple more of those infinite blood hosts going. The bone beasts. I was gonna send you this way, you're kinda no longer need— oh wow, what don't you like? You hate our military actions against everybody. Maybe I should have just used the ability to raise Skavenblight then. Alright, well then you can, I guess, follow Kuchar out to sea, because who knows, there could be more enemy armies out here. I doubt it, but you never know. Blood Crushers. Go north to Middenstag. I guess go around, because these guys are kind of non-viable. Just try not to draw Kjarl in. Red Hunters stay protecting everybody. All the little units that or little armies that I no longer feel like moving. You Bone Hunters are going to Dromar. And then you can raid there, and then the Red Harvesters, I was going to have you follow somebody. This way, I guess. I'm not entirely sure where I was going to send you, to be perfectly honest, but I also am pretty sure that it doesn't really matter. The Carmine Masters. You're not really near anything. Go this way, generally speaking, I guess, and you were the last. Alright, skip. Commandment. Spill blood. And do we want to do any of these? Instantly replenishes movement range. We could do that, but it's not going to help here. Chance to colonize, doesn't matter. Will anything speed anything up? I guess we'll just keep this on cooldown and save instantly replenish for when we need to really move Skarby. Yeah, alright, end turn. I think 2 more turns and we're done. Oh, I forgot about you. There were too many lords. But like I said, I wasn't banking on these guys actually reaching anything, so yeah. Asavar Doommonger. No. Whatever it is, no. We had preemptively kind of fortified the territories that were bordering the Demon Prince, because there may have been reason to attack him, since we weren't originally going to— well, we never really allied him. In fact, no, really about it, we never did ally him. As in, if the campaign had gone on, we would have attacked. And it looks like no further attacks. Oh, what is this? Oh, garbage little interception. Sorry, Findel. Still shouldn't have damaged that army that much, but all good. Alrighty, enemy killed in battle, Blood Feaster's banner. It's nice. That's real nice. Drink from Flush. Huh, I wonder if we can give that to Skarby. Go through— no. This is Chariots and Soul Grinders and stuff. Whatever. Alright. Blood Feaster's banner and upkeep for monsters. Durthu? But his army is absolute garbage. If only we could get Fashioner to attack him somehow.
Blood speaker.
You can't reach him. Wow, he's in a very interesting position, isn't he? Alright, wait.
Let the slaughter
Vashnar, try to chase down Durthu. I'll see what he does, where he goes after this. Manblight, you are very close to Skarby now. Go this way. What? Why are you suffering attrition here? Alright. I'm not entirely sure. And then you guys was gonna send up this way.
Khorne is
I
Khorne.
don't really care if you suffer a little bit of attrition going up this way as well. You are going to go this way to intercept Durthu. Because this way he might run towards Vashnar instead, which would have been which would be ideal in our in this case. You will quickly raise this, and blood for the skulls, and then delete yourself because I don't want to deal with you. And then you can do the same thing here. Wait, you're not a blood host. Oh, I almost deleted Eddie. That would have been unfortunate. And you can raise a blood host to try to help you out. Not that I think you're gonna need it, but you never know. We'll see what's over here. All right, there we go. And Vlad's Empire of Undeath is falling pretty much just as quickly as Karl's. Alrighty, then Skarby. Not that we really need you to go to Karak Asgaraz real quick. We'll move the Gore Feasters, Eaters rather, in to reinforce. Is Karl still at Altdorf? No, what are you doing, Karl? And he has Felix with him too. Please stop fighting the frickin' Norskins. Peace out with them. I don't care. Go back to Altdorf. Build a full stack. Why are you moving with the... Your empire is falling. What are you doing? Oh, AI, why are you like this? Hopefully he goes back after. Then, you are able to reach Ubersreich, are you not? You are. And you are not able to reinforce, unfortunately, which means... Well, that is what it is. Auto resolve. Blood for the... yeah, blood for the blood god. Then, the important thing. Can you reach this? Yes. Okay, so you know what? I think that means we'll want to move these guys now. So Tavi, go this way. Wait, that's not Tavi, that's Kjarl. Sickening. Alright, you go this way, and Kagan, well, it doesn't really matter where you are. I mean, it would be nice if you didn't get killed by Durthu, so just stay with the Red Hunters, I guess. Alright, then. Skarby. In March stance, I would like you to give to Tavi his stuff back. At long last. Tavi, get your this, and I assume it's this guy. Now this we're keeping, like so. Then, you are going to go right here. Skarby, go speak to Mr. Manblight here. Oh, don't tell me you're just out of range. Okay. Yeah, I guess we can start the... Wait, can you reach him? Oh, so close. Alright, fine. You give the 2 slaughter brutes to Skarby. Oh, it's infuriating that they're just out of range, but whatever. Skarby needed to heal anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And why are you suffering attrition? This Meyer claims... Okay, whatever. Raid. I don't care if it's our own territory. Just raid it. Ooh, upgrade this. Alrighty. Anybody else need to move? Okay. Real quick. Major Rager. I think the next turn might be our next turn or two might be the very last 2 turns of the campaign. Huh. Oh, Shirtla's still there. Oh, did he fail at taking Talak, or did he sack it? Not that it matters over much, because it's pretty much doomed anyway. Just like everything else. Hey, we've reached almost 1 million gold. Which, you know, in some ways is nice, but ever since I played Thorgrim and we had like... I don't even remember what it was, like 80 million or something absolutely ridiculous, and giving away like 1 million gold every turn to our allies so that they'd build up. After that, 1 million gold doesn't even really seem like much anymore.
The bloodied flesh.
Alright, you're good. Anyway, Major Rager, you are now done. Grawl the Blood Harvester doesn't need to move. Eddie, Pav, Bloodbound, Gulgast, Storball. Oh, Martin, you pathetic coward. Why did you run? Okay, Arbal, by yourself, go here. by yourself. Stay near Vlad. Go in camp stance. Don't bring the other two in. Maybe Vlad will attack us with Martin or go back to this to give Arbal a final fight. Though I don't really care that much about giving Arbal the final fight, mostly because, I mean, we have to end at some point or this will keep going in forever. Not that I imagine there's too many complaints about that, but anyway. Occupy. Because it has a gold mine, and then delete. And you can be... Oh. Visitor class. I guess we could send Eddie right that way, but... Alright, defenses. I actually don't want these settlements to be claimed. I wasn't looking for them. Huh. It's kind of interesting. You can't disable the Khornate auto-occupy, so it just sort of takes stuff you might not necessarily want, which feels kind of weird. It is what it is. Anyway, thick skin, slaughter, and how about crush? I'm hoping that Vlad attacks you next turn. Will it happen? I guess we're about to find out. Cultist, you get Blade Shield, Scarred Vet, and Deadly Onslaught. I don't know why I bothered with Deadly Blade, but I suppose it won't matter over much anyway. You, Deadly Blade, Foe Seeker, Blade Shield, because Khorne really needs the extra melee defense. It's not like we don't have plenty of attack at this point. And Deadly Blade, Foe Seeker. Again, I went for the Deadly Blade on the Cultist for some reason. Yeah, whatever. Also, Arbal's attacks at 120, 1.2k base weapon strength, eh? Not bad. Alright, let's hope that the enemy fights you. Moxia. Looks like they're running from Kingsglade. Oh, I'm not surprised. Oh, wow. These orcs surprisingly like us a fair bit. Not worth it. Raise. And is that the Blood Hostman? What the heck? Wow, this thing zoomed out. It really zoomed out. Orby's Chariot and go into regular stance beside these guys. Like so. Alright. And you're probably good. You guys, we move towards Magritta. Or at least try to move towards Magritta. See what happens here. Can you land? Well, I mean, you can land, but you can attack. You can't attack. Oh, wow, it's basically undefended. Huh. I guess the garrisons of the Vampire Coast maybe aren't quite as bad as the base garrisons of the Chaos Dwarves, but they're still pretty bad. Alrighty, and out of resolve. A Lichbone Pendant? Wow, that would have been nice earlier. And Occupy, because that's iron, which we don't get to keep. Alrighty. Oh, they do still have all this territory. Good job to Sartosa. Another faction I feel bad for because they were doing well, and then we screwed everything up for them. But what can you do? Anything else? Delivery Evolve doesn't need to move. Farmort not moving. You're not moving. Borkill? Who's Borkill? Oh, right, this guy. The one that I already forgot. Then, oh, before I forget, let's take Mad's map away. That would have been, that would have been unfortunate. Anyway, the Blood Legion. You guys stay there. I want to see what happens here. Doom Fiends, you are really needed. But you can maybe menace Durthu. Go here, or this way. I want to see where he'll try to run, if he tries to run. I mean, he will try to run. Most likely we'll get an interception because he'll try to forest his way out of there, and we have like a billion armies around the poor guy. Can you guys take Wolfenburg with what you have? Probably not, eh? Is it defended? It is. Is it defended well enough? Guess we're about to find out. Close defeat, and then with you... Valiant defeat. Well, if you're not viable, then I don't care about you. Goodbye. Oh, how dare you survive? Frickin' demons reforged. Don't reforge yourselves. Huh. I was hoping that they would be able to attack again. Well, let's see how much that garrison recovers next turn. How did this turn into... how did this turn into this? Anyway, the Blood Crushers, you go this way. Ironically... Huh, actually they do. I was about to say, ironically, they have no Blood Crushers in their army. They have two, so somewhat aptly named, I suppose. There you go this way, and that's it. That was the last one. Alrighty, what do we have Skull Throne-wise? Nothing that we care about in Khorne's Glare. I don't really care about taking control of a target ruin. Skarby. Next turn, pick up the last of your units and then move towards Altdorf. I'm gonna hope we can at least bait Karl and Todd and Boris all together to stand outside it, and then fight them all together. It would make me happy. Skarbrand, how's your healing? You're not gonna be at full HP, but whatever. End turn. Please, Karl, go back to Altdorf. Everything else is in ruins. If you do it, I promise I'll bring you to your men. One thing you want. And where's Karl go? No. Karl, no. Don't do that. Retreat. Oh, for the love of... What do we do here? Can we maybe sit all the units in a blob and let Karl kill them somehow? Alright, I'm going to make a cut here. I'm going to try to make it so that our army dies. That's what I'm going to try to do, without hurting Karl. I don't know if we can make it happen, because he has nothing, but maybe if we just leave them there for the mortars to kill, maybe? We'll see. Alright, there we go. That was completely stupid, but I did do it. I managed to blob everybody up and just sit there while the mortars destroyed the units, and then just sort of ran around with the single entities until Karl and Boris managed to kill them. The fact that the AI decided to frickin' do that, to destroy its own army like that, and oh, I'm so happy. I was not expecting this. I'm gonna fight this. This is one more fight for Vashnar, as his army hasn't got to play a lot. And okay, I'm gonna quick save because, frankly, this episode's gone on a long time, and I don't want it to crash at this point. We'll do this little fight.
Tear them apart! Take their skulls! Soak this land with their blood! For Khorne!
Alright, and here we go. Pleasantly surprised that we actually got to intercept Mr. Durthu here. And I did want at least one more fight for Mr. Vashnar here. I just really happen to like the concept of this particular army, with the cannons and the fire glaives and the piles of Khornate halberds. And Khorne is such a nice guy. He's going to end the feud between the Wood Elves and the Dwarfs, and, well, Durthu in particular as well, once and for all by simply killing them both, as in this final episode. This faction, or this army, has destroyed the last remnants of Angrand, and now here they will cast down Durthu as well, with fire and axe and fire glaive. Anyway, the battle will start as the enemy advances towards us. Our skull cannons deployed up on the ridge above, and then the fire glaives deployed down on a slightly lower ridge, both firing over the heads of the piles of the Chaos Warriors of Khorne. Keeping in mind that, well, lessons learned from the last battle, if you don't do this, you have a little bit of a difficult time, especially with the flame cannons, which have a bad tendency to fire into the backs of your own units. You'd think that since the cannon itself is elevated enough, it wouldn't happen, but they're kind of, the projectiles go kind of wild when they're fired, so it makes sense. Anyway, Durthu's having a pretty bad time. On the approach, he is down to about 20% of his HP, and will actually pop off the Tormentor Sword from... Actually, I believe the Vashnar just straight up has a Tormentor Sword. The other heroes in this army all have the ability Tormentor Sword thanks to their Menace trait, which was the idea sort of behind this whole army concept. Anyway, Durthu had a pretty bad time here, and I don't believe he's going to survive to continue having a bad time, as a couple more shots of fire glaives from the fire glaives will bring him down. Oh, and executed by the skull cannons. And the skull cannons just stay there for a few seconds, laughing in mockery. Oh, that was fantastic. Anyway, with Durthu fallen, the balance of power shifts to about 5% in the enemy's favor, 95 in ours. The fiery axes of our juggernaut riding lord felling the last few dryads, and it looks like with that, the battle is ours. The dryads flee, and the fire glaives and the skull cannons alike smash into their backs. And I'll probably bring most of them down, but this is an underway interception, or just a world roots interception, whatever. Interception. And thusly the enemy army will be destroyed regardless. A very nice final fight, and we bid farewell to Vashnar. Alrighty, there we go. Solid work out of the fire glaives this time around, bringing down Durthu and heavily damaging everybody else. Not as good as the skull cannons, perhaps, but that should be of no surprise, as they have red line buffs and just general faction buffs and all that. They are pretty darn strong, especially the Hellforged Bellowers. Anyway, heal, whatever, doesn't really matter. Durthu's destroyed. And we will go right back to Altdorf. Hopefully Karl does not attempt to attack Skarbrand. You two, stay together. Huh? Khorne is now ascended. Oh yes, we will definitely end the campaign with Khorne ascended. What is this? Kuhar? No. Kuhar's immortal. Part of his community canon. Avaloran destroyed. Nice. Wow, look at all those extra territories. Drawn to destruction? Okay, yeah, that's probably because of that. Little extra territories that we took over. Anyway, Skarbrand. Okay, so, first of all, Manblight to Skarbrand. Give him his soul grinders. Give him the Lamasu, the Great Chaos Dragon, and he still has room, eh? Yeah, give him a bunch of Furies. Have some units that we're free to just, you know, get rid of, let them die, whatever. I don't think he needs anybody else. Alright, no additional bloodthirsters, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Then, Skarbrand, I would like you to go right here. I'm going to assume that these guys will not attempt to attack you together, but will move towards Altdorf. Go into just no stance, just sit here like this. Skarbrand. You have Soul Grinders and Chaos Dragons. You have some Slaughter Brutes in your army, so we could just level them up slightly for that. Khorne's Chosen does nothing for us. We could buff the Furies, but frankly, their buff is kind of atrocious, so it's probably not worth it. You know what? Just make Skarbrand hit harder. Destroy and hunt. Why not? And then the last 4 points are of no consequence. Right? Harbingers of Death includes the Slaughter Brutes. Yeah, whatever. You. Alright, you're a new guy. We are the elite, most definitely. Get Raging Stalwart, I guess. Magic is weakness, thick-skinned, etc., etc. It's been hard to find this guy an actual, or Skarby an actual fight where we would have needed to level you up before. Alright, and the other thing I wanted to do was Manblight. Let go, leave the, well, actually no, just keep the Blood Crushers, whatever. Actually, you know what? I'll lose the Blood Crushers and the cannons, maybe not to Tavi, though. Bring the Furies, and ow, you're just out of range of Skarby? Oh, that's not great. I'm hoping that next turn you can still get to Altdorf. Just barely so. Okay, everybody else together. I want, okay, everybody else together. Here. Here, wait, where is Manblight? Yes. I want to bring Manblight in on the final fight, because he's an exalted bloodthirster and we haven't had the chance. Alright, you guys all in regular stance, just in case Karl comes around. You should be good. You are no longer required, buddy. Thanks for the delivery, though. And there's probably a few more heroes that we can move and raise some more stuff, but I think that we're not gonna bother. And Manfred von Karstein ran away rather than fight at Karakaraziak. Probably not worth our time then, but it is Arbal's last fight. Let's hope that Vlad is willing to fight it then. He is, alright. We'll give this to Arbal then. Especially with some of those new chosen, and then we'll do the final fight with Skarby hopefully next turn. So, second to last, go.
His eye is ever upon me. Would you draw it to yourselves? If so, be worthy.
Alrighty, here we go. Well, technically speaking, I did say that Mr. Arbal here got his final battle against Serena Katrin and Kislev and the multiple stacks therein, but I just can't say no to knocking out Vlad one more time. Call it up to my bias for the vampire counts and for Vlad in general, and, you know, just seeing those units a little bit more. Gotta take in the vamps where I can until we can play them again, and especially considering they're getting a rework with the together at the same time, I guess, as the Lords of the End Times DLC, as I recall, or whatever it was. It'll be a bit before we play them, which is a bit of a shame, but it is what it is. Anyway, here we go. Now, in theory, it might be better to wait for the enemy as a second army to arrive, just so that they have more mass, but I really would like to have Arbal see if he can't duel Vlad. Plus, my favorite unit in the entire game, Hex Wraiths. I want them to fight the Knights of the Brazen Throne, so we're going to crash into them. We do have a Lichbone Pennant specifically on these guys, so the magical damage should allow them to do and damage themselves, but nonetheless, I do expect that we'll take some damage from the Hex Wraiths. There we go, they lose about half of their HP, the Knights lose about 20% of theirs, while the rest of our army closes the distance. We try to sort of keep the enemy back with the rest of our newly minted Skull Crushers, using their anti-large to go after the Mourngulls. One of my favorite models in the game, but again, I'm pretty biased for the vampire counts in general. While Arbal tries to move towards Vlad, he is unfortunately having a difficult time as he doesn't have enough mass. We saw this exact situation with the fight for, well, last episode, and with the fight against Serena Katrin, where where Arbal was trying to push through, but all good. Over on the right flank, we have our regular Chaos Knights who have closed the distance, led by an exalted hero, whereas the Skull Crushers were led by Mr. Arbal. And we'll move in to support the Knights. They're absolutely tearing the tiny, by comparison, looking Black Knights to shreds. And especially now that they have the support of a cultist, we're looking pretty good. We're also waiting for the second main enemy stack, I suppose, to arrive, such that we can get the Fleshhounds into the fight without them getting charged or something in the rear and, you know, getting destroyed because they're fragile. Especially as against the undead, since the Fleshhounds can thusly not act as support units, they're going to have to, well, they're going to have to wait. And they can't be chasing down any dead or fleeing units because those units are out, and we have no mortal auxiliaries for us to work our Fleshhound magic on either. Anyway, looks like a Vampire of Death has at least closed the distance with Arbal, while Vlad seems to be deciding to fight one of the Beastmen Giants and is having a bad time, but this is deceptive. It may look like Vlad has 50% of his HP, but Vlad is definitely up there in terms of being a tanky and very nearly unkillable lord. Thanks to the various kills or heals he has, he should be able to get back to very close to full HP easily between his, well, abilities and his items. Anyway, our Skull Crushers and our Knights charge on into the piles of enemy units, but Great Sword, Halberd, and just Graveguard in general, in combination with the massive armor piercing from the Karen Wraiths, and a little bit of a poison from the Crypt Ghouls, sees our Skull Crushers broken. They don't actually lose a lot of their units, in fact they lose nearly none, so they'll come back with almost the full amount. And at long last, it looks like Vlad has decided to close the distance with our ball, but not for long by the looks of it, as a couple more hits will deliver unto Vlad his true death. I'm not even trying to say it on cue, because who knows how long Vlad will keep out healing. Okay, so he had like 5% HP, and now he's up to about 30% of his HP. Again, that's just the issue of fighting him. Pretty much always the case. And our ball will, of course, get distracted by some random infantrymen. I do wish that lords and heroes sort of had a base behavior, which sort of had them auto-try to focus any other lords or heroes that are close in proximity to them. I suppose, though, it didn't matter here, as one of the Chosen does, in fact, bring Vlad down. And with the Vampire Lord's fall, his army begins to melt away. Our routed Skull Crushers come back with nearly their full number of units, and they'll recover to nearly full HP post-battle, though they did take damage. And with that, this now final battle for our ball is ours. There we go. A close victory, and we did take some damage, but part of that was by virtue of sending our cavalry in unsupported. I don't know where the camera's going. Alright, well, didn't quite get the one-on-one duel I wanted, as Vlad didn't seem to want to fight our ball, but at the end of the day we still got a nice battle out of it, with the Skull Crusher shining, doing the most damage and taking the most damage. Well, actually, the Chaos Knights here also did about as much, though they did attack easier targets instead of, smashing straight into the combination of halberds and Karen Wraiths, which is a particularly nasty sort of combination. Very, very nice. And we bid farewell to the Bloodhound Gang, Anger Management Colonel, and Colonels of Khorne in this particular army, as well as Khorne's Good Boys, Kujo's Kids, and Tufilhunden. We will heal because we still need to raise the place, because of the principle of the thing. Oh, and of course Vlad will march far enough away that he will escape, whatever. Oh, actually he will not, I lied.
All paths must end.
Great. Oh, probably didn't need to blood host it up, but whatever, all good. Lovely. And you can go into raiding stance in case we need to head you to Kazadirkulaz. Not that I think it's going to matter over much. Alrighty, because the next turn should be the last. Vlad is down to 3 settlements, but we're up 2 settlements, but we're probably not going to bother getting him down to 0. I think we all know we can at this point. Or at any point, really. Don't even need to raise any more blood hosts. Alrighty. So Vlad is done. The Empire is basically just Altdorf and the Northern Empire. And let's hope that these guys will fight. Alright. Skip. I will do commandments because I want the additional attack, just because it amuses me. Build blood. I really wish there was a thing to set all commandments of your entire faction at once to the same thing. I mean, admittedly, there are probably very rare situations in which you would maybe want to do that, but, just because. Anyway, let us... do we really need to wait for the bloodthirsters? We've seen bloodthirsters enough, and we have bloodthirsters. It's fine. It'll be fine. Unholy manifestation? Nothing, I think. Although, we could, if we really wanted to, pop off the Hungering Blades for the final fight. It'll make things like the Slaughter Brutes be a little bit more capable of, staying in combat and not getting themselves killed, and maybe even the Furies. 75 attack on them, incidentally, which is pretty nice. And 62 armor. Probably could have gotten it over to 100 or so if we managed to get the iron here that we've only just conquered actually built up. Like here at Dodenbach would have been another 5, another 5 here, another 5 here, so that's 15. And I think there's another armor. We have the, or another iron. We have the one at Fort Jakova. We have this one. Well, plus 15 at the very least, which would have put them to 90 armor. If there was more armor than, I'm sure, iron rather, I'm sure we would have found it. Anyway, let's end the turn real quick. And, alright. I'm not going to bother moving these guys, just let them sit there. Now, there's a few armies that were kind of, sort of moving, but I'm just going to ignore them all. No, don't care. In theory, hopefully, Mr. Karl will not attempt to destroy himself and will sit there in Altdorf and allow us to fight him and Gotrek and Borisov at the same time rather than running. Please, please don't screw me on this AI, please. Oh, Magritta, you still needed the iron. And of course, all these guys are still moving. Oh, hopefully they don't move away to try to go after the Blood Crushers. Oh, I shouldn't have moved them here. They're rather close to Altdorf, uncomfortably close. But we'll see. Alright. Oh, for the love of... Alright, there's a lot of these guys. Alright, now. Where is Empire? This is the important part. For some reason I thought they'd be very early in the order, like one of the first, but apparently they're in smack dab in the middle. Reichland. Karl will attempt to attack the garrison. Are you freaking kidding me, game? Alright, guys, there's only so much we can do. I mean... I could make another cut and destroy these guys, but where's he gonna go from this? Why would you abandon Altdorf? The AI is behaving like such an annoying little jackass, though. Alright, I'm going to make another cut and allow him to destroy this garrison, and hopefully, okay, we'll see. Alright, this is the last chance I'm going to give Karl. Managed to essentially keep all the units away until he captured the settlement. I will not be doing that again. If he tries that again, I'm just going to let him die. Grum Punch... No, go away. It's busy. Alright, and it looks like he's just going to stand there. Like, the AI is... Oh my lord. And I love the fact that the AI is usually an absolute coward that will never fight any fight because of its cowardice. And then here is where it... Yeah, you know what? I think it was my mistake here, though. I think what I should have done is I should have besieged Altdorf. He might have then reinforced with everybody. He's still in range, but I do wonder. Could he go anywhere else? He could go to Dodenbach, and we have nobody we could send there except the Red Harvesters. They're close, but they're not so close. You know what? I think that's the only thing we can try. I'm going to besiege Altdorf. I want a good final fight. This is obviously absolute garbage. We could just send Skarbrand to kill Karl one-on-one. It's not that interesting. I'm going to say, go besiege Altdorf, like so. And then sit there. Karl should be able to move in and march stance and reinforce. Hopefully the AI doesn't think that it's overkill. Then, Manblight. I'm gonna send you over there as well, although there's a distinct likelihood that if we do, then Karl attacks Manblight and not Skarbrand. But if it happens, I suppose it happens. And Skarbrand can just reinforce. As weird as that would feel. But it is what it is. You're gonna go here. You are going to get the heck away from all of this as far as you can, so that maybe these guys are more tempted into this. But then for Manblight, I'm going to give you Brass Collar, Thick Skin, and Kill. Then you are going to get get the accursed armor. Why the heck not? You will... Oh. We won't be able to transfer the... Well, you already have. You know what? In case you're the one who gets attacked, we will give you the Bloodfeaster's Banner. I was gonna give this to Skarbrand to give him strength from flesh to get him healing, but all good. And then you are going to get Doomsinger. Then you are... this makes you rather slow. It could counter this with a Banner of Swiftness, but whatever. Talisman of Preservation. We were saving that actually for you, so that's fine. And I guess always, as always, Potion of Healing. Lovely. Alright. And I guess we still have the anti-air stuff, but we don't really need to give them to you.
Such blood, it will spill.
And I think that's it. Minus... Okay, wait. If we don't do anything about this, then Carl will just go for this place again. So Vashnar,
Blood speaker.
I would like you to go here. Outside of this place. Oh, I'm almost sure he's gonna go to Doddernbach
Do not take me
rather than go to Altdorf. Tavi, go to Doddernbach. And then Kjarl, you are going to go here as well. All of you together. Maybe this will cause Carl to run. This is the last attempt, and then you can sit on Nolan. You can go here. Wait, no, you can go to Wissenberg. You guys can sit together. You know what? You guys get far enough away from Carl so he doesn't try to destroy himself by attacking you. And I believe that's all we can do to prepare. That's all I got, guys. This is the only thing we can do. So, for the last ones, we are going to pop. I mean, I guess we could get Slaughter Incarnate for the final fight, just because. Yeah, sure. Then we'll get the Skull Throne, we'll do the Hungering Blades for the Slaughter Brutes, and I believe that's all we're going to do. Nobody else is in range of getting destroyed, I hope. Let's end the turn. I'm just gonna move you so you don't move yourself, otherwise you would have just moved. Frankly, Eddie's gonna do the same thing, so just go here, Eddie. Alrighty, and then everybody else should be good. Yes? Yes? Hopefully. You guys can just raid. You're not moving, nobody else is moving. Alright, let's hope this bait works. Please. Alright, oh no. Oh no, don't tell me you're close enough to Carl now. I forgot about you. You see? Something, it's always something, damn it. Well, I'm not reloading. If he goes after those bloodthirsters, then whatever. Altdorf should still be a big fight. There's another army nearby, and with Skarbrand besieging, they should go after us. Please. Alright, Reichland, here we go. What do we have? We have Albrecht Haupt Anderson attacking Skarbrand. We have Carl is here with Gotrek. Ooh, no Felix, but we've got... Oh, that's a concerning number of Outriders and Outriders with grenade launchers. That should keep things interesting. They got the Sunmaker with him, Carl himself, of course, who hits like a truck. Yeah, with Galmaraz, he's at 1.6k, I believe. Actually, at 1.1k, he's even with Skarby. Maybe I should have given him the chainsword for the final fight since it's such a better weapon, but whatever. He'll be fine with his own weapon, I'm sure. Final fight, quick save it in case it crashes, because it'll be a big fight, but I'm pretty sure it won't, because there's not that many units on field. But just in case, away we go.
Tear them limb from limb, Oliver, Lord of Murder. It is our purpose.
Alrighty, here we go. At long last, we get to the final battle. And Carl is here after all that time of him trying to get himself killed. I suppose the fall of the Empire has driven him mad, and together with Gotrek, he has sworn the Slayer Oath and has just been trying to get himself killed. So I don't know. Let's just say it makes sense in this particular case, otherwise I'll have to keep being annoyed at the AI's behavior there. Anyway, Skarby's final army is an interesting one. It's kind of a mishmash of two different armies, but admittedly, Skarby's army has been a mishmash of different armies that he has been punting to other lords over the course of the entire campaign. So it's nice to see sort of elements of the flying army here with two great Chaos Dragons and piles of Chaos Furies, whose survival does not matter at all, as this is the final fight, so we're free to send them in and allow them to fight to the death. Plus, we got 4 Soul Grinders now. Of course, keep in mind that Skarby does buff Soul Grinders, and a couple of Slaughter Brutes, which, regardless of the fact that we didn't get to play with them much, or at all really, are pretty neat-looking units. They just don't really offer anything that we don't already really have in spades. Technically, they're better infantry mincers than our soul grinders or our bloodthirsters and whatnot, but it's not like our monsters are bad infantry mincers. It doesn't matter over much. Anyway, our ground units, or at least most of our ground units, will close the distance while Skarbrand attempts to defeat the General of the Empire. And we work on this first army right in the center of the map before... I can't see. Okay, apparently you can't see reinforcements from the tactical view. Before we have Altdorf's garrison arrive with the plenty of units, including a steam tank and all that. And, or was this Altdorf garrison? I don't know, whatever. No, it wasn't. Or was it? I don't know. Plus Reichland arrive as well. And they should be able to hit us from both sides, which should keep this battle continuously interesting. Alright, Great Chaos Dragon, Bloodthirster, and Slaughter Brute all working together and led by Skarbrand in this blob, but I think this General of the Empire is perhaps regretting his life choices at this point in time. Not that he would have ever had the chance of dishing out too much damage to Skarbrand in the first place. We'll have to wait for Galmaraz toting Karl for that. In the meantime, since we don't care about the Furies, we're sending them directly in, and frankly, against the Outriders, they should do pretty reasonably well. The Outriders themselves are decent melee fighters, but the Chaos Furies will land so many blows thanks to that massive 142 melee attack, due to the combination of buffs as well as the commandments that we popped off. Oh darn, I forgot to double check whether the commandments also empower our piles of blood hosts, which are obviously still having a lot of trouble auto-resolve wise, but it is what it is. Anyway, since the Outriders were the biggest irritant, they were the focus of our attack, and by the looks of it, they have been destroyed. Karl's reinforcements have now made their way onto the battlefield, and the Sunmaker is firing upon us. A couple of volleys from it should easily destroy a unit of Furies, so we certainly expect to lose at least a few of them. The other reinforcements are making their way onto the battlefield, and Karl himself has arrived, apparently choosing to go after one of the Chaos Dragons, a set of Furies, and a Lamasu here. Not entirely sure who exactly he's going to focus, but I suppose it doesn't matter much because Skarbrand is in the meantime marching over here to take the skulls he was promised. And here he comes, delivering the first blow to Karl while the rest of our units move their way. And oh lord, okay, Karl loses almost all of his HP in 2 blows. And neither he nor Deathclaw has a prayer here. A nice contest. Karl can almost look Skarby in the eye, but he'll be looking nowhere in a second as he has 1 HP. Oh, does he have a cannot die last desperate ability? Huh, I don't know that. Interesting. Cannot die, last stand. Ah, interesting. 30-second duration. Oh, very neat. All right. Well, that's good for Karl. A little bit of extra dueling between him and Skarby, and the chance at least to deliver some proper damage to Skarbrand, but not enough by the looks of it. Even while Skarbrand is also taking damage from enemy range fire. Speaking of enemy range fire, the rest of our units are sort of regrouping and getting ready to move once again. Looks like our Furies are taking range fire while trying to move towards that frickin' Sunmaker. And it looks like a few more units have actually closed the distance with Skarbrand, including once again the Knights of the Everlasting Light. This is the second time we've seen these guys. They have a melee attack. Blinding Radiance is actually quite nice. A 10 melee attack reduction, especially if you combine it with other effects like glittering scales and whatnot when you're making Empire armies. Unfortunately, we are the absolute worst possible faction to use that ability on, as it will do absolutely nothing. In the meantime, we've also chosen which army our main stack will move towards: our Slaughter Brutes and our Flyers. At least what Flyers remain will rush the blobs of enemies. And just started working away at them. This is a Slaughter Brute versus the Imperial Foot here, with their very nice 69 melee defense before the debuff that had them lose a little bit. Alright. And obviously several of our Furies are melting away. I was originally going to give the 2 portal glyphs to the flying army, but since we never built the full one, I guess what I should have perhaps done is put the 2 portal glyphs in this army instead. Though I do think Skarbrand's personal, his heroes actually do have, items, so I guess it doesn't matter over much. It's not like we expect to lose here. Although it is certainly a toughie, and the bounce barrel remains at 55% in our favor only this long into a battle. Skarby is still taking fire and is down to very slow movement speed. And actually, speaking of, the exalted bloodthirster, 8 movement speed, basically cannot move at this point. We gave it all of those items, so it should survive here. But the combination of the accursed armor lowering his movement speed by 50% and the frostbite plus stagger shot from these 2 range units focusing him down. Hey, good job to the AI, by the way, but really annoying for poor Manblight. I was going to try to send him after Gotrek, but he's having kind of a difficult time just attempting to close the distance. But oh well, what can you do? The Soul Grinders and the Slaughter Brutes are having a grand time against the enemy infantry, however, and will carry the day in reasonably short order, though the Slaughter Brute has actually lost about 50% of its HP fighting the Great Swords and Imperial Foot alike. But it's also dishing out plenty of damage, I'm sure. Our Flyers are obliterating the enemy backliners as Khorne's Bloody Fist and the 2 Chaos Dragons have led the remnants of our Furies, as well as the summoned Bloodthirster from our Cultists into the desperate handgunners and whatnot. And though a few Reiksguard and Empire Knights and whatnot remain to protect the enemy lines, I don't think they have a prayer against the Bloodthirsters or the Chaos Dragons, as they will provide the anchoring points for our melee line. Karl's army is still in the fight, if just barely so, though the Sunmaker and one of the artillery pieces are gone. The Chaos Furies are actually fighting Knights of the Everlasting Light in addition to some of the enemy range units, while Skarby has closed the distance together with the Exalted Bloodthirsters, and the 2 are fighting together. I was actually somewhat avoiding Gotrek over the course of the battle because I know for a fact that Gotrek has the Executioner trait, and thus he... or does he? Huh. I could have sworn he did. I'm pretty sure he does. Maybe it's not seen here, but I saw the Executor or Executioner symbol pop up and got very concerned. And Gotrek does feel like he might have it, but who knows, maybe he doesn't. Anyway, Skarby does manage to close the distance with him, and a 1 blow to Gotrek delivers about 50% of his HP and damage. And I don't think he's going to survive. In fact, I'm pretty sure Skarbrand kills him here, and this is why Skarbrand is moving away, but unfortunately, like some units seem to have a desync where they, for some... yeah, see, there's the Executioner symbol. Some units seem to survive by virtue... we saw it with Boris earlier, where they should be dead but aren't, so the desync will see Skarby moves away. Just trust me when I say that Skarbrand killed Gotrek much like he killed Karl in a couple of hits. And so Gotrek is actually now free to do additional damage, as our units will effectively be ignoring him unless they're just fighting him. On the bright side, though, I don't think I have ever seen a Slaughter Brute death animation, so if he keeps attacking the Slaughter Brute, in theory, I don't think it can bring him down. And I'd be interested to see how it does. So perhaps there is a benefit to ignoring him. In fact, the rest of the enemy army has at this point completely shattered and or otherwise been destroyed. and only the Flagellants and Gotrek remains. Huh. Also kind of makes sense to have the Flagellants together with Gotrek in Karl's army if he is looking to get himself killed to atone for the destruction and fall of the Empire. Not that I blame him, because this is one of those rare campaigns where the Empire was doing really well. They were strength rank 2 and had lots and lots of, as we saw, strong armies. I pretty much always see the Empire completely collapse, but I guess if you play Chaos, the Empire tends to do a little bit better. Ah, there we go. That was the death animation of the Slaughter Brood. Not as, well, he did let out a sort of dramatic death rattle, so yeah. Just the nature of the desync, like we saw with Mr. Toddbringer, which didn't actually happen when I played it. Not important, though, as with that, the rest of the monsters seem to crush Gotrek, and of course they will leave the Flagellants alone. Hopefully they'll approach one of our other units. And this will be the last unit on the battlefield, and with... Oh, that feels unnecessary for a little tiny fella. But oh, he actually jumped over him and didn't actually land the blow. Oh, exalted bloodthirster. You're being too dramatic here, fella. One more time. The last unit on the field and the very last unit in the campaign as well. Don't screw it up this time. He's shy, guys. Don't look at him. And where are you even breathing the fire? Oh, he started all the way. Oh, that poor. There we go. With that, this battle is well and truly done. And you gotta admit, the exalted bloodthirsters do look absolutely magnificent, don't they? Alrighty, there we have it. It took an absolutely obscene amount of effort just to get Karl to come out and play, but at long last he did. And yeah, I should have just threatened Daltorf all the way from the very start, though if I had, we wouldn't have had Manblight at the final fight. And a very nice final fight it was. Skarby doing fantastic as always, absolutely annihilating poor Gotrek and Karl. And Karl seemed to have wanted one of the Lamasu dead, though. They're just here to support the Furies, essentially, to delete enemy magical weaponry, so that the Furies can keep on fighting. Speaking of Furies, I've always thought that they were a unit that's essentially meant to be sacrificed. Frankly, it's like with the Fellbats for the vampire counts, where you shouldn't care if they die. You're free to send them in because you can raise dead, and we do now have the demons reforged, so they do come back somewhat, but there isn't an as easy a way to get them back, except global recruitment, I guess. Either way, it's nice not to have to care about casualties, because these are the very units I'd like to throw at the enemy and let them die. The Slaughter Brutes debuted very well, getting 30,000 and 28,000 damage apiece with 0 veterancy on them, and actually getting more kills than anybody else. And the top performing Slaughter Brute. Very, very nice work. Makes sense as it's an anti-infantry monster. Our piles of soul grinders did well as well, both going after enemy infantry and chasing down enemy outriders and whatnot. And of course our little chaos dragons, which weren't supposed to be in this army at all, helped out quite nicely as well. Everybody did well, unsurprisingly. Anyway, with that, I assume they won't attack us again, at least we shall see. And by the looks of it, they... what is this? Martin von Karstein? Yeah, we're not gonna bother. Goodbye, Martin. You should have stayed with Vlad. He might have won, or at the very least had a better chance against Starball if you had stayed, but alas, you did not. Alright, new regional power, Heshwatli, yeah, okay. There we go, Reichshammer for Skarby, and... last action of the campaign will be to raise Altdorf to the ground. Like so. And... blood for the Blood God, or skulls for the Skull Throne. 69k, nice, but that seems a little bit too slunashy to me. So I'm gonna say, screw the skulls, screw the money. All we want is destruction and blood. Like so. And there we are. A very nice final fight at long last. Hopefully there wasn't a desync and it will have worked there. The only units I believe that I did not bid farewell to in terms of the named units were these armies, because they've been... they kind of ended their stuff last episode. So bid farewell to the Khorne's Horns, the Untamed Savagery and Lympho Fights, the Head Hackers, Coneheads, Blood Donors, Red Hot Pokers, B Positives, Arena Butchers, Skull Cleavers, Skull Letters, Tide of Blood, and that's it for those guys. Plus... we did the dogs for Mr. Arbol, but there's also the Corn Dogs, Karanax Puppies, Blood Seekers, and Bloodhounds, as well as Wheels of Fields here. There we go. With that, this campaign comes to a close. Pretty comprehensive one, especially at the end there. We reached this very early, then this on turn 35 or so, long victory, and then we got domination here. I would say that it's ending a little bit earlier than I would have liked, but just look at what we did in a couple of turns, just actually using our blood hosts, which we didn't need to, but, you know, had to destroy the Empire, and we certainly did. We got our 40,000 skulls, and then we got way, way more than that. Our techs are now 1 turn per tech, so, and actually there were, I think, 10 or so techs left, counting this and what remains in the pillars, so not much. By turn 100, we would have had every single important tech as well, so even that is close to done, thanks to all those Jugger plants that we built. I just wanted to say Jugger plant one more time. Jugger plant. 2 more times. Anyway, Skulltaker is also dead, unless I'm mistaken. He decided to die rather than to confederate, and you know what? I respect that. I absolutely do. Yeah, he's gone. No Khorne and no Skulltaker, and oh right, there's no Confederation in the quick deal. So yeah. Oh wow, the Ecstatic Legion's just straight up offering vassalage. Yeah, I think they can see the writings on the wall, as it were. Anyway, stats wise, real quick. There you go, Skarby. Stats wise, real quick for those who are interested. The income doesn't really matter anymore. We're long past because it's basically infinite. Let's see. Yeah, 21 heroic victories. Not as many as in some campaigns, certainly, but with the exception of this episode, because the auto-resolve is being a maniac, for certain armies, the auto-resolve makes it reasonably okay for Khorne, so we were less likely to get a lot of those heroic victories. Though, admittedly, if, like Skulltaker's campaign, if I used those blood hosts since the very start in big numbers, we probably would have gotten a lot of heroic victory farming. That's a way to farm heroic victories, just by using those weaker blood hosts throughout the campaign. But I think it would have gotten tedious and would have been too similar to Skulltaker's own sort of thing. Though I did enjoy the several last stands we got out of the little mini blood hosts. Anyway, folks, that's about it. Thanks for sticking with it all the way to the end, especially through this marathon of a part 2 of a finale, part 2 and 3 and 4. And yeah, Bretonnia to watch, more to come as always, so stay tuned. All glory for the algorithm, to the algorithm. I believe, yeah, I have to screw that up. And thanks for watching.